Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of Vox and Jed Fight About It. The show where we don't have a guest when we're supposed to because
Not
we
this time.
aren't technically responsible for that this time. That's not our fault. I don't know. Should we name them? I don't know if we should name them.
Our guest this week, just scheduling was tight and we weren't able to get a guest going, so we decided to do it ourselves.
Okay, so here's what happened. A couple weeks ago, haphazardly, I mentioned to said guest, because I guess we're choosing not to name them, because it's not their fault. It really isn't their fault at all. But this guest, haphazardly on stream, I ran into them. So if you watch the streams religiously enough, you'll know who I'm talking about. But I ran into them on stream, and I was like, "Hey, you want to be on the show again?" And meaning it is a previous guest, so take your guesses. And they were like, "Yeah, I'd love to." And so I was just like, "Oh, we've got August 31st as a recording date open." I just realized I forgot what date I said, and then I was like, "Oh wait, it's today," so I could just say it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh, and they were like, yeah, that works for me. I'll probably be talking, about this and that." And I was like, "Awesome, cool, great, cool." And so a few weeks go by, and we double check with them the last week, and then this week we get a hold of them again on Tuesday, and they're like, "Yeah, I could do it." And then I find out late on Tuesday. You're a little close to the mic, by the way. Again,
my bad.
But we get a hold of them on Tuesday, and then late on Tuesday they let me know, "Hey, Saturday's recording isn't gonna work for me." And I was like, "That's okay. We can do Friday." Me and Jed are both open on Friday at this time. If you want to do Friday, if you wanted to do early Friday instead of late. Instead of midday on Saturday, since they left, they just weren't available for like the entire weekend, basically. And so we got a time that worked, and they overslept and completely missed the podcast recording yesterday. But I was like, fine, I could probably nail down Enzo, who's supposed to be our guest, not next episode, but the episode after. I can probably very haphazardly yank them in here, and we could still keep on track with our guest episodes, because we have never missed a guest episode. We've been very fortunate.
We've never missed an episode, just in general.
We've never missed an episode, and we've never had anything interrupt scheduling. Usually when we conceive of what episode we're doing, of just like, oh, we're having X person on the show this Saturday. Once those plans are set in, typically they might get adjusted, but when the episode comes out, it comes out exactly as we originally intended it to. We've been lucky to have quite literally zero mishaps in that regard when it comes to getting an episode out. And so, this is a hell of a first, I'd say. I think 15 episodes is a very good run to have every guest show up and be able to be on the show and not have to duck out on us at like the last minute. Like, I think we've gotten pretty lucky so far, because I know how some other shows are of just like, where like guests just can't make it, and like there's nothing you can really do in these situations other than like scramble for a replacement guest, and we did, but we only had a day to do so we kind of missed the boat on that one. But anyway, long story short, it happens. We were supposed to have a guest this week, we don't. So
if we're
keeping in,
if we're a little haphazard,
if we're a little haphazard,
I don't know about Vox. I don't have any topics written down because I didn't think I would need topics this time around.
I got some left over from last week that we didn't get
I got some leftovers.
And I got plenty of stuff that happened to me today, because today
same here actually.
Today has been a very busy day for the both of us individually. We've both been, it's safe to say I've been out all day. You've been out for a while.
Like 5 hours. So most of the day.
Right. I was out for like 6 or 7. So no. We had big days. Back to it for just a second. Very haphazard episode. Guest couldn't make it. That happens. We are. I love this like early stage of doing a show like this, because it's just a revolving door of firsts. And this is the first, what's not the first bad thing to ever happen on the show? Like, it's not the first bad thing to happen. We've had our mishaps that we won't get into, but we haven't had anything bad happen.
This is the first scheduling bad thing.
This is the first scheduling mishap.
That's not true. There was that time that you slept in, like we both slept in, and then realized like at like 10 p.m. that we didn't put out an episode on Sunday. And so, like, we recorded and did all that. I would say that's
worse than this. We still got it out
on
the day. We still got it out on the day. Yeah, that's worse than this, because at least this will come out on time. But this is the first, like, guest scheduling mishap.
Yeah.
And I love this revolving door of firsts we have. And you know, what better time for a milestone like that to happen than on episode 15, you know?
Yippee.
But if this is the worst thing that ever happens to this show, then fuck it, we're good, you know? Very low on topics this week. But a little recap from last week. Last week we said, we finished our Kevin Smith marathon of movies. I had a dream about Kevin Smith last night. We'll get into that in a minute. But, I had a dream that was tangentially related to Kevin Smith. We said we'd finish our Kevin Smith marathon. We did. We talked about the last of those movies, most notably Tusk. Jed made a like a haha about, like, I think putting the Tusk poster in the thumbnail for this one might have killed it on arrival views wise. And it's like, well, it didn't, because the views on this show just fucking suck. If we were doing this for the views, we wouldn't have made it to episode 15, I'll tell you that. But, like, primarily, even if it did, would it be us if we didn't every once in a while manage to murder an episode on arrival because we were talking about like a sort of racy topic? But no, yeah, we finished our Kevin Smiths, and then we were like, what's next? X-Men. We're doing X-Men, and because this is the first thing we started on the show that we haven't finished, like the first thing we started on the show that wasn't started pre the show running, and like we can actually introduce it as a proper thing from plan to execution. I wanted to do like a watch-along thing. We decided that was what we were doing, was a watch-along, and that we were going to watch Season 1 of the X-Men cartoon, and we were going to watch X-Men 1 and X-Men 2. We did one of those things.
Well, we watched X-Men 1 and X-Men 2. We are 4 episodes short of finishing the season, but by Sunday, we will be caught up. So if you would like to talk about
by the time
the
this
first
episode...
season...
Yeah, by the time this episode comes out, we will have finished it. Yeah. But the thing about it is, right? We with this guest scheduling thing, we thought we were recording this yesterday, and so on Thursday night, we were like, yeah, there's 7 episodes left. I don't know about you, but I'm not really in line for 7 of these at the moment. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. It's a Saturday morning cartoon. They're like candy almost, where it's just like. No, I'd say they're more like trail mix. You ever have trail mix and then you're like, yeah, I could eat as much trail mix as I want. And then you get a bag deep on trail mix and you're like, dude, I never want to see another fucking walnut or M&M ever again. You know?
Yeah.
You ever have that happen? It's like that. You can easily, like, there's a slippery slope before you oversaturate on that kind of thing. But no, yeah, I figure we should start with the movies. And I've been talking for a while, so we'll talk about X-Men 1, and then we'll talk about X-Men 2, and then we'll talk about the show. So I've been talking for a while, so what were your opinions on X-Men 1?
X-Men 1, I used to watch it a lot when I was a wee lad. My mom really liked him. And X-Men 1, rewatching it, I had some pretty heavy rose-tinted glasses. It was fine. It was good for the era. It was a fine superhero movie. That's all I can really say about it. I like the way that these X-Men movies do, like, the comics, but, you know, the movie, instead of, like, whatever Marvel is doing right now, where it's like, we're taking our own adaptation.
Yeah, you stole my note. Is this what happens when you get to go first?
Fuck. Yeah.
I never let you go first on things like this, because I fear this kind of a thing. Because we talk about these observations as we're doing them, and you steal my like comic to screen adaptation comparison about the X-Men franchise. How dare you?
Yeah.
I'll get that phrase tattooed on me. But no, I agree, obviously, that like
how dare you, or comic to screen adaptation.
I agree with the how dare you and the comic to screen adaptation, but mostly I'm talking about that second thing. About just like the way they like in these films and in like the early Spider-Man films and less so, but Blade also. They really take their time, you know, and it seems like there's a shared spirit, even though like the Spider-Man films and the Blade films and you know, well, the Blade films and the X-Men films were handled by Fox, so yeah. But these three film franchises all like are Marvel, obviously. That's a big linker. But like the bigger linker of that is that they share just this sort of lifeblood of just like people saw comic accurate designs and weren't throwing them out the window or trying to like adapt them flawlessly, but they sat somewhere in the middle where they were sort of casting for looks. Like they cast Hugh Jackman because he looks like Wolverine, and also because he's a good actor.
Doesn't.
He does. I think when he grows the mutton chops out and you put the hair on him,
he looks not
pretty
the issue. I would say.
like. Well, I think the height is an issue, but I don't think. I think that was if I had to guess, that's an intentional. That's an intentional. We don't want our big burly protagonist to be 5'4".
Yeah.
You know, I think that's some early 2000s filmmaker like closed-mindedness going on there. But I think in the face he looks. You know who comes to mind when I think about this the most? Aunt May in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies looks like she came straight from the fucking page, dude. She looks identical to her comic book counterpart. But no, X-Men. They really. It seems like they partially cast for looks. Like Cyclops looks like Cyclops does in the comics, obviously in a different costume. You know, and he's not as much of a redhead. Like he's a little more
James
brunette
Marsden
in these movies.
Isn't a redhead, but
was that James Marsden? God,
that is James Marsden.
He's so young in these movies, and my facial awareness is so thrown off when I can't see somebody's eyes. But like he does a great job. In that first movie, I think what were you expecting? Yellow spandex. I think fuck you for that. Fuck you for that. 20th Century Fox and assorted writers on the X-Men franchise. Because yes, if they put them in the outfits, I'd say adaptation-wise, this is as good as you can get. That is my one flaw. Because they still made a lot of concessions, to my understanding. I'm not a big X-Men comics reader, but to my understanding, they did make a lot of concessions to make it more of a movie, but the plot, beat for beat, is still very much in the vibe of X-Men. You know, it still very much shares that same lifeblood, you know?
Rogue being a young girl is different. Rogue was
they made some differences.
The same age as everybody. But like
I think Rogue is the biggest departure they've done with a single character of the main cast.
And I would say like Iceman. But he wasn't really in this movie. He was just kind of like
he exists for like 2 seconds of this movie. I forgot he had ice powers. I forgot he was Iceman. I thought he was just like random fucking School for the Gifted Child number 75. I thought that's what he was because he shows up in 2 whole scenes and I completely forgot about him. So when he showed back up in the second one, I was like, this guy's back? All right. And I think Iceman's pretty fucking cool. I think his powers are pretty cool. Neat. They don't really use him in the first movie. So like
they use him in the second movie to cool a bottle of Coke. That is
he does that big fucking ice wall thing.
That's also really
pretty
cool.
sick. And then he does the like he kind of just gets left behind for no reason. No, that's Pyro. They leave Pyro behind.
Yeah.
Those actors look just similar enough. They don't look very similar, but they've both got like the 2000s frosted tip thing going on. Like not frosted, but like the gelled tip thing where they've just got a fucking shitload of product in their hair. So that's all I remember those two for. I mean, so does everybody in these fucking movies, especially Wolverine, which I think is funny. Because Wolverine as a character doesn't strike me as a man who gives even the singlest fuck about his hair.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna change the topic very slightly. I looked up Iceman because I like to look at the characters we're talking about.
Right.
I saw like a top 10 people who would be great to play Iceman in the MCU. Ncuti Gatwa is number 1.
I could see it.
It's just like
I like Ncuti Gatwa.
Sudden Ncuti Gatwa.
Iceman, as far as I've been exposed to him, isn't a very gloomy character. He's a very upbeat member of the X-Men. So I could definitely see like, you know, happy-go-lucky fucking Ncuti Gatwa on screen playing that motherfucker. But no, in terms of casting,
Joe Keery. But yeah,
Joe Keery's not a bad pick either.
Joe Keery isn't a bad pick.
What was I saying? The first movie. That's about all I have to say about Iceman specifically.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty neat in terms of the first movie, at least. I guess, you know, he's cool in the second one. Haha, pun intended. But I think the first movie is fine. They beat the hell out of Wolverine. You love to see it. They hint at Wolverine has a mysterious amnesiac past, and I'm so glad because it's such like at least to me, it's a very little known as far as I've seen from people who don't like keep up with these characters. It's a very little known fact that Wolverine's skeleton isn't just like that. You know, like that's not part of his mutation. No, they got
people
to it
don't
in the
know
second
that.
one. Oh, I thought you were saying really. I was like, yeah, no, that's not a thing.
No,
people
of course
know,
I fucking
apparently.
know that the Weapon X thing happened.
I was about to say, do you not know the Weapon X thing? That's like his whole origin. You know, that's like his whole fucking deal for a little while. You know?
Like, like his regeneration, his immortality, and like the claws are his mutation, and then the metal skeleton is just like an in addition thing. You know.
The thing that confuses me about like the whole Weapon X ordeal is just, did they just like dunk him in there wholesale, or were they like flaying flesh? How do you go about something
injection?
Like that? Because in the second one they just had a vat. No, but they just had like a vat, not really
that
like
the thing that Wolverine like fucking does. I'm sorry. I was going to explain this by saying, do you know that guy from Walgreens who would inject semen into women?
Whoa!
Like that, but with adamantium.
He's having a skeleton baby.
Do you know that guy who like had a syringe and like did that twice and got
arrested? Yeah, no, I'm aware of what you're talking about. That's just an insane comparison.
It's the first thing that came to mind.
That's just a ridiculously insane thing to bring up when we're not even talking about Walgreens or semen. I don't know.
It's the first thing that came to mind when I thought about injections.
You didn't think about, like... I think about synthol when I think about injections, because synthol, like... Looking up fucked up synthol pics is funny to me, because people get, like, a fucking donut on their forehead and shit. It's great. Like, because that's one of those body modding things that, like, your body... I don't know if you know this. Synthol not good. Your body will reject it. And you will get, like, necrosis in your fucking arms. And even if you didn't, it looks like shit. Like, it looks like you have an inflated...
enough.
I think it's interesting. Aesthetically, though, I think it sucks because it's just, like, fucking, like, you know, it's interesting, but it's just, like, it's a thing where it's just, like, dude, you look like you just, like, shoved a water balloon, like, an unpoppable water balloon under your skin. It doesn't look like you have big muscles.
The only ones that I actually think are I don't like the muscles one. The only ones that I actually think are interesting are the, like, horns that people will get sometimes, but, like... You have to be a very specific brand of person. Like if you're in a metal band, sure. But like other than that,
you can't be working at fucking Chase Bank and go, I think I'm gonna go get fucking synthol injections. You know? That's not something they usually go for. But X-Men. We'll come back around. Right. X-Men, that's what we're talking about. Final thoughts on the first movie. It kind of discouraged me to continue a little bit. I'm just like, man, are these just super backloaded? No, the first one just is kind of meh. It's just all right. I think the whole like
bad. It's just
Statue of Liberty thing was fine. Yeah, it's just all right. I think visually it's very interesting. I think it's definitely a fun movie to look at, especially in just like if you have nostalgia for that period of time, you know, and those sorts of aesthetics, then it absolutely is a very interesting movie to look at. But even outside of that, there are positives in this movie. Like the big, like, I think Magneto's like probably the most interesting part of the first movie, just because Magneto, frankly, is the most interesting part about the X-Men franchise to me. And I think you agree on that. But like, not that I'm disinterested in anything else X-Men related, but you know,
Magneto is just a cool guy. Like, with the exception of Nightcrawler, he's like, Nightcrawler and him are the only interest that I have in the X-Men, really, most of the time.
Speaking of the Nightcrawler, you want to talk about X-Men 2? You want to talk about X2, as it's called?
X2
fucking stupid-ass name. I like
was actually really good. I really like this one.
Yeah, give your thoughts. Go ahead.
It came back around. I think that it was a much better, like, just all-around movie than X1. It was a little bit better paced. And we get to see Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler's always cool. He's kind of like he's kind of like a teddy bear in these movies where he's just like, oh, hello, I'm Nightcrawler. And like, that's really all he does. It is
Nightcrawler. Would you like a hug?
Yeah. I'm going to pray. And then
Would
I
you
will
like
hug you.
Teleporting hug? I will wrap my tender arms around you, and we will go 10 feet that way.
Yeah, no, like Nightcrawler all around is
I
like
think
a fun
Nightcrawler in the
character
bedroom
this
is
movie.
probably up to some crazy work, frankly.
He's a Catholic. He's probably missionary, dude.
Oh, that is a hell of a limitation for like a guy with powers like Nightcrawler has. He could get up to some insane bedroom shit between the teleporting
Dude,
and that
shit
tail.
would reek of sulfur. Like,
I don't
constantly.
care. I don't give a singular
You think you
fuck.
could fuck through the reeking smell of sulfur?
I think I could fuck through most things, an earthquake included. Especially an earthquake. You just lay there and let it happen. It's like soaking, but with Mother Nature.
Ew!
Are you
never
that-
bring up soaking.
Why, you're that averse to soaking?
Well,
That's like
it's the word specifically that grosses me out so bad.
I don't think the act is that gross. It's just like normal sex, but with a third guy helping sometimes.
Like, no, it's the word because like it gives like very intense imagery about like have you ever sat in the bath or a hot tub for too long?
What, you think you're gonna sit in there and get pruned?
Yeah, pretty much.
You gonna get some pussy prunage? Is that what's gonna happen to you?
Yeah, that's the imagery that comes to mind. Is like
gonna get a wrinkly pinkly?
Yeah, well, something like that. It's just like trench foot is the thing that comes to mind.
Oh,
Of just like how like flesh
get
reacts
trench
to
dick?
being. Thinking about World War One, like John, what the fuck? Why? How
we're
did
going
you
to
get
have
this?
to amputate.
Stuck my dick in the mud.
Dick in the mud.
Why?
Get it? Like stick in the mud, but I'm stick in the mud. Ain't that kind of funny? And it's like, John, this is I guess
John, this is serious.
that's worth a chuckle, but we're gonna have to like cut this thing off, dude. I don't.
You're gonna be pissed out of a catheter for the rest of your life.
You are gonna be a mess, homie. I don't know what to tell you. X-Men 2. X-Men 2. I'm glad this is the episode where we don't have topics.
The smell
we were
of
talking
sulfur.
about the smell of sulfur and Nightcrawler and crazy bedroom activities with a tail and teleportation. But the thing about X-Men 2, I think the opening scene really sells it. I think the opening scene really sells it, and then I think the movie really just keeps rolling from there, because you expect when a movie starts with a big action scene. I don't know about you. When a movie starts with a big action scene, like a little fucking demon spider monkey motherfucker beating the shit out of people in the White House, you would expect that would like it'd be all downhill from there. I don't know. I see that and I'm like, oh, it's all downhill from here. But no,
it holds well.
It holds really well. I'm really like, I think it just keeps rolling nicely. In fact, my favorite bits weren't even the action bits. My favorite bits were like the good hour of character work we got in the middle.
Yeah, I think the scene where like Wolverine and Iceman were hanging out in the like the kitchen. I guess that kitchen is way too small for that size of school, by the way. And he has a soda, and then
I guess it's like the dormitory's like
in
self-serve kitchen. I would assume, 'cause it's like they were in like a living room, so I assume like, you know.
Well, like that's what all of the like the university looks like. Like what you can see in Deadpool, that's just what the university looks like.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
No, totally. But the thing is about fuck, I lost my entire train of thought just then. But the thing is about X-Men 2, I think, you know, a lot of the character stuff is really good. And call me edgy all you want. I think that scene with Pyro, like fucking killing cops practically, was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, people definitely died there.
Oh, people fucking died there. Like,
I did.
Men were like cast asunder, dude.
Yeah, I did think it was really funny when they rock up and they're like, "Put the knives down," and he just goes, "I can't." Like, well, yeah, no shit, dude. I've tried.
Yeah, the edgy part of that scene that I like is just like, oh, you know about the bad mutants you hear on TV? Well, I'm one of them. And then
that's
fucking
very edgy.
And then kicking into an action sequence. I thought it was a solid line before nearly committing like several like murders by arson. But I thought it was good. I thought the running, like, I want to call it a running gag because it is kind of played a little funny sometimes. Because like at one point Magneto just goes, "Would you fucking quit it?" You know. But like I thought the running theme of of Pyro going out of his way to fucking like going out of his way and like flipping that lighter constantly. I thought it was a pretty good gag.
Yeah, especially for Magneto, like in a pressurized cabin, to just be like, "Fucking give that to me. I'm sick of it for one goddamn second." Like honestly, I can't blame him. Zippos are fun to fuck around.
I like how personable Magneto was with the rest of like the X-Men cast aside.
He's
from Charles, because
he's
like obviously
kind of an X-Men.
Well, no, yeah, he's like a semi-X-Men of just like they team up regularly enough because like technically they both work on the common goal of mutant rights activism. So
yeah,
like there's a little bit of overlap there, and then Magneto does a big betrayal at the end to do radical shit. I'm not sure that I love the interpretation most people take about like, oh, the X-Men is about the civil rights movement. Because, like, I love the general messaging of, like, the way forward is peace and whatnot. But that paints certain civil rights activists who, weren't willing to comply with the police and were willing to, like, actually kick up a proper fuss, Well,
for their, that's why we have Magneto.
Rights.
Is like Magneto is kind of integral to a lot of it. Not even just like
I don't want to say Magneto isn't wrong because he is kind of wrong because he does want to like that is a little different that he wants to because it's like kicked up to comic book proportions, of course, and so he wants to like kill every non-mutant or make everyone into a mutant or like this or that, and it's just like that end is not okay. But he's also, like, they don't treat him as though he's 100% wrong, is the thing. They do treat him, appropriately so, as a character who's just, like, is a hard, like, maybe, of just, like, Magneto's got some good points.
We didn't talk about how he was defeated in the first one.
Did we not?
Fucking Holocaust beam. No, we didn't.
Oh, right, because Professor X just, like, mind beams him with a Holocaust beam because he's a Holocaust survivor. And that is some crazy shit.
Fucked up.
That's some insane shit, dude.
Tremendously fucked up.
I mean, you saved humanity, I get, or well, some UN members, really.
You saved some rich assholes.
You saved some government bureaucrats from a little bit of suffering and death. I guess the death of like an entire like UN meeting worth of people, especially that specific set of people, would probably cause some pandemonium. So they probably did save more lives than just that. And not that I'm saying those lives aren't worth literally anything, but it's just like it's not like the whole world was at stake. It was like a room full of maybe like 200 people. But hey, 200 lives saved in exchange for Holocaust beam, which I think is a pretty funny gag and something that the fandom does not let Professor X live down ever. Yeah, no, I love little moments like that when it's just like, Xavier's like the strongest, like he has like the best mutation in the fucking world, dude. Like he's got the best one easily.
Yeah,
like hands fucking down because he said that shit to Wolverine where he's like, oh, I'd say that shit again and I'll leave you thinking you're a 6-year-old girl for the rest of your life. And he just goes, no, you can't do that. Can you? Wait. And they just have like an exchange about it. It's like, dude, that's fucked up. You can't just drop that you can do that at any time on somebody.
I also think it's fucked up.
So fucked up.
I'm reading all of your thoughts right now. It's fucked up in here.
Like, I don't see, because he's obviously, and again, they play Magneto as not 100% corrupt, wrong individual. They also play Professor X as, he's generally in the right, in the same way that Magneto is generally in the wrong. But I think, if you look at like some aspects of his character, like, stop digging around in my brain, dude. I met you 5 seconds ago. Isn't this an invasion of my fucking privacy? Like, if there were ever an invasion of privacy, that's it.
I don't think you can have psychic powers like him and be like,
well, no, but
morally 100%.
They show him willfully doing it is the thing. So, like, okay, I thought you were going into, like, well, I don't think you could have psychic powers and not just accidentally snoop every now and again. Like, because I totally would. I totally would. Not intentionally, but, like, every now and again, it's just like, oh, that guy's thinking about chicken nuggets. No, fucking stop, quit it, Yeah. And it's just like an insane overstep of boundaries where it's like, nobody should be able to do that to anybody, dog, but you just seem cool doing it to whomever you may stroll into.
Fucking,
or I guess
no wonder
into
Magneto
in your
like wears the
day-to-day life.
dopiest looking helmet known to man to get around it.
Yeah, no wonder.
Like
they stole that, of course. They stole that from Juggernaut, but I genuinely choose to believe. That in canon, it wasn't in the writer's room. We decided to retcon it so that Magneto also has the helmet to keep his thoughts protected. But no, it's the other way. It's the other way around. Where in character, Magneto was like ran into Juggernaut, and he's like, "Yeah, the helmet's so my brother can't read my thoughts." And then he goes, "Oh shit, that's a pretty good idea, actually." Why didn't I think of that? Because Juggernaut's traditionally like the stupidest motherfucker alive. So it's
God.
You get a phone call right now?
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on.
You're taking a phone call right now.
It might be an emergency.
No, we're not cutting this. We're leaving it in.
Fine.
We're leaving it in. We're absolutely leaving this in. Take your fucking phone call, I guess.
Give me a moment.
Been home for like hours, and I just get home and I scramble to my desk, and somebody's got to take a fucking phone call in the middle of the episode. Welcome to Vox and Jed Fight About It, everybody. I hope you're having a fantastic time. But no, considering Juggernaut, what I was saying is, considering Juggernaut is like the stupidest motherfucker to ever live, and he's honestly not that stupid. He's blinded by rage 99% of the time. And it's just like, it's just such a funny thing for someone as like intelligent as Magneto to go, "Oh shit, I didn't think of that." It's such a funny idea. Look who's back. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. It was not an emergency.
It was not
an emergency. My mom didn't know I was recording.
Oh, well, you don't tell people you're recording. You just come to your desk.
I normally do.
I hope nobody bothers me.
Yes, I forgot.
I hope normally do.
To be fair, I think she assumed that I wasn't because she thought I was recording yesterday. So,
yeah, that's probably it. Again, our guests causing scheduling mishaps. Ooh, you fuckers! Ooh, when I fucking catch you!
That's it. No, they're fine.
No,
things happen.
Fine. I wouldn't joke about it if it wasn't fine, Jed. I know it's fine.
Yeah, no, I know.
I keep reiterating because I'm sure they're gonna hear this episode, and I just don't want them to feel like we're actually mad at them, because they came into my Twitch chat during stream later that day and we're like, "I'm sorry, that's completely my bad," But no, yeah, X-Men, X2. Yeah. I thought it was really good. It's getting me hyped to watch whichever the next one is.
Last Stand, which is not great.
Last Stand,
not great of the original three. I'm sorry to tell you.
Well,
it's probably the worst of the original three.
We'll watch a bad movie and we'll have a good time. But the X-Men cartoon,
we watched
I don't think we need to go episode.
Yeah,
I don't think we need to go episode by episode on the cartoon. I think it's good to just cover the whole thing in one sweep. I don't know. I came into this expecting just sort of a 90s cartoon. Like, oh, they're probably just gonna try and sell us some fucking X-Men figurines and try to get kids to buy a couple comics, and maybe give like a, "No, don't do that. Drinking is bad," I thought that's the kind of thing I was buckling in for here for the first issue. Because believe it or not, like this cartoon is particularly beloved. I can acknowledge that, like, from whisperings that I've heard about it pre-watching it, that it is particularly beloved, and they did bring it back, so of course it has to have some manner of fan base. But like, honestly, these 90s cartoons, even the ones that are very well liked, are very simple, and so I didn't expect much, and I got way more than I expected out of this. I liked it. I liked it enough.
Yeah, I think it's good so
far.
far.
Morph, spoilers, Morph dies in the fucking first episode. Like, they kill that motherfucker.
He has like 3 seconds of like, and then he dies.
It really does open up this fucking, like, series, though. I do think it's really cool to use your first, like, couple episodes on air to go, "Yeah, we're not afraid to fucking kill a main cast member. Watch out. We took out 2 main cast members here. One dead, one imprisoned for crimes he did commit." And good. I fucking hate Beast anyway, by the way.
I fucking love the plot of just like, "Hey, Beast, do you want us to, like, break you out of prison? We're breaking somebody else out of prison right now." "No, I need to serve my sentence." "All right, Beast, have fun getting executed."
Magneto shows up like a day later before he's even been to trial, and he's just like, you want come out. What are you waiting for? And he goes, my day in court, of course. And it's like, fuck you, dude. Get out of the jail cell.
And then
You're
Rogue
an
is there.
8-foot-tall, furry blue son of a bitch. No, they're going to put you in a box for the rest of your life, dog.
And then Rogue shows up.
Wasn't it like 7 months?
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, but
something like that.
Rogue shows up, and it like if Magneto showed up to break me out, and it's like this is like a nemesis of the X-Men. Yeah, I'd have some issues there. Like I probably wouldn't take his hand, but like
I could see
Rogue
how you
shows up. And is like fucking, oh, you want us to break you out, sugar? And then he's like, no, I like it here. He doesn't actually like it there, but
my
just
fucking book.
Yeah, well, they like racially make fun of me.
They like, shout slurs at me while I read Rene Descartes.
Yeah, like, and like they're breaking somebody else out of prison at the same time, so it's like it's not even like a. Like, I don't want to put you guys out. It's like, it would actually be easier if we just broke you out now while we're all here, but no. No, Beast has his own moral.
He's got a moral compass, and he's sticking to it, I guess, but it doesn't change the fact that not only is he a nerd, he's a fucking bootlicker, too.
Yeah, from what I understand in some of the comics, he turns into, like, a real fucked up, like, mad scientist villain.
Oh, that's cool.
But, like, in this one, he's very just like, police are good and can never do anything wrong.
He is like cheesing it with like a half-closed eyelid at all times. I've never seen a more chilled out motherfucker in my life.
That motherfucker snuck.
He's like walking on the ceiling and like talking about fucking poetry and shit and mathematicians, and then fucking like doing nothing else. He's wearing silly little glasses.
I love the silly little glasses. I relate to the silly little glasses.
Are a nice touch. But like the silly little glasses are a nice touch. Yeah, I do. It's how you know he's a smart, big hulking monster. But no, I think the X-Men cartoon is pretty good. They're doing like a whole plot line. It's not just like 20 minutes and back to the status quo. It's become a week to week thing with this show of just like Here's the end of this one where Wolverine runs off, and then in the next one it's going to be about where Wolverine ran off to, and with a side plot of the rest of the X-Men doing their thing, and that thing will be, capped off, and then it'll be capped off as the cliffhanger for the next one, and the next time we'll come back and Wolverine will be back, and he'll come back and help out the X-Men with their main thing, and there will be a second side plot. There's always something to cliffhanger on now in this show. Yeah. Which I appreciate.
It's been like really consistent where it's got like two plots going on generally at the same time.
An A plot
and then as one plot closes, you're halfway through the other plot. And so it's like, it keeps it going.
It does incentivize tuning back in of just like, well, we gotta see where this goes. But I like it. I like some of the voice casting. Can we talk about the fact that Gambit just fucking disappears off the face of the planet for like
2
episodes? For like no, it was like 2 episodes. You're right. It was like just a 2-parter. He's gone and then he's back with no explanation. Zero
he's like
explanation.
Playing poker while the world is falling apart.
Like he's like, Gambit don't want to do this adventure. I'm going.
He's doing a fucking crab boil. He's like, I can't leave.
He's back at the mansion making fucking gumbo and shit.
Yeah. I can't leave it now, and it'll ruin it. Damn it! The world is falling apart.
That the Juggernaut destroying town. I don't know. Rogan Storm got this one. I'll make them a gumbo when they get back. I keep the pot warm.
Gotta impress Rogue.
No, but I like Jubilee. Jubilee's a good character. I'm enjoying Jubilee quite a bit.
He's kind of running bit with Jubilee is that she's the Queen of England.
Because there was an episode where she goes, like, she's the classic thing of just like, and yeah, I'm the Queen of England, sarcastically. It's just like, yeah, I bet you are, buddy. And ever since then, I went, holy shit, they got the Queen of England in this show? And every time someone, like, punches her or something, I just go, no, the Queen of England! And it's such a good bit. It's such a good bit. I highly recommend picking it up.
Or like if somebody new shows up and sees them, it's like a fucking like, holy shit, is that the Queen of England?
Yeah, me and Jed do this bit. I don't know if other people do this kind of thing. I genuinely don't know if this is an exclusively us thing or if other people pick this bit up too. Of just like like doing insanely poor impressions of the characters, like partaking in bits we created while watching whatever piece of media it may be.
Yeah, like mid-media. I think we would do it like a good watch-along, like, what's Mystery Science Theater 3000? I think we can do a
We'd be good
decent
at
job
that.
at
I
one
think
of
we'd
those
be
shows.
really good at that. I think that's really where we would thrive creatively.
Yeah, creatively, while we're
Dude,
like making fun of Gambit.
That's where we do our best
doing
shit.
a poor Louisiana accent.
That's where we do our best shit. Oh my
God. It's
god.
good. It's solid.
Because it's like, oh, I stepped my foot in a pothole, and it's like, oh, I stepped my poop in a fart hole, and we're laughing, and it's good. It works. It's the best comedy
that was the
create.
worst possible like rendition of what that is just awful. Whatever you just made in your head was bad. No, like we do like some decent bits.
No, I think we do some great bits. I'm not being sarcastic about that. I just thought I'd choose like 70% of it's pretty good bits. I'd argue 30 to 35%, somewhere in that range, is poop in the fart hole type bits. I think it's a lot of that just because they're easy. It's not that we make them. It's not that it's our focus. It's that like they're so easy to just crack in there as we go. That, like, it's like when you fucking... It's like saying that, like, oh, man, this burrito is, like, 30% shredded cheese. And it's like, yeah, that's because, like, it's easy to sprinkle shredded cheese on, you know? Or not shredded cheese on. It's easy to fucking put that shit in there, you know? Compared to, like, another glob of meat you gotta work on. But... Fucking no, the X-Men cartoon. We didn't quite finish the season. I think it caps off in 3 or 4 episodes, but we'll watch those. We'll watch those by the time we're here next week. Of course, we'll get those done, and we'll get season 2 done. We'll watch season 2. We'll finish this season and watch season 2 of the show, and we'll do 2 more X-Men films, whichever the next 2 in line are. I believe it's
Last Stand and First Class.
Yeah, Last Stand and First Class. First Class is real good.
Yep.
So, real bad and real good. We'll update that. So if you've been doing your watch along, let us know in the comments. What did you think of the X-Men first 2 films and the first season of the show? Or just in general, what you think of the X-Men in general if you're not doing our watch along with us. But yeah, we invite
last thing I want to say about
the
show?
Last thing you want to say about the show?
Wolverine is a feral motherfucker like he's in the comics, and I like it. He's like the most like fucking raccoon in the garage motherfucker.
That type of shit at all times.
Also, there are a couple times where he's like, "You don't tell me what to do. I'm not going with you." And then he shows up at the location when everybody gets there.
Yeah,
and
like they hard cut.
I thought you weren't coming.
They're like standing in like the fucking like whatever it is, the planning room, like the fucking like war room of the X Mansion. And then they go fucking like, he's like, I'm not doing this one. I think this shit fucking blows. You wouldn't catch me dead participating in this shit. And then like hard cut to like the villain they're fighting. They're like, oh, it's the X-Men, and cut over to the X-Men, and Wolverine is standing fucking front and center. Yeah, you bet.
Scott turns to him and is like, fucking like, I thought you were like looking for like Rogue or Gambit or whatever, and he's like,
change my mind. Thought it'd be funny.
I don't know. I went 3 steps forward, saw their tracks led on too far that I cared, and I decided to come here instead. I didn't give a shit. And like he's done that like 5 times in the show.
I smell the writer's mandate to have me in this scene.
Yeah.
But no, X-Men, the X-Men cartoon is pretty good. I'm having a pretty good time with it. The characters are which is weird. They're very fleshed out characters. Like in terms of their characterization, writing wise, they're very fleshed out. They're still performed like 90s cartoon characters, which sort of undermines it just a little bit. But I think it's camp. I think it's pretty camp.
I think
it's
that Gambit is the only one who like isn't performed like a 90s character. I think he's pretty just like, that's just Gambit. That's just how Gambit just like is.
That. Yeah. He's just sort of that way everywhere. But no, yeah, that's our thoughts and thoughts and prayers on the X-Men franchise thus far. Catch us next week for another summary of X-Men stuff, the next 2 films and the next season of the show. We'll get to talk about 2 season finales then, and we get to do that. That'll be fucking cool and great. But what I'm most excited for with this X-Men thing is when we start to get to stuff like, I saw this season ends with Days of Future Past, that plot line. I'm excited to see how that like compares and contrasts to the film Days of Future Past, and what's going on there. because obviously, like, the film has its, like, weird interpersonal plots running through that aren't quite correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But, like, it's sort of a whole big thing, you know? And so I can't wait. Sorry, my cat just meowed at me super fucking loud. I don't know if the mic picked that up.
I heard it.
But he absolutely was meowing it the fuck up.
Is that
Vox
Ryan
and
or
Jed,
Duck?
and one of my various cats meows at me. I don't want to get into my fucking cats. They interrupt the show constantly. I can't. Viewer, I need you to understand. Half the edits I do on this show, and I don't do many. I don't usually have to do many. But half the edits I do on this show are things like you've heard today. Because I'm sure my dog barking earlier came through for a sec. Because the dog was barking, and then the cats were meowing, and I'm gonna have to edit around all that. But like that's like half the edits I have to do on this fucking show, and it'll be helped tremendously once I move and have an office later this year. I'm excited. So keep your eyes out. You know, for all the like two people who like this podcast, you know, you'll have better quality coming forward. I think two is a little underestimating.
Like, fight Vox, but yeah.
Okay, but no, well, 2 is a little underestimating, but somebody's lying to us, Jed. I need you to know. Somebody's lying to us. Somebody is lying to us. Because everybody's like, oh, I love the show. I love the show. You know, everybody on the Willow SMP is like, oh, I listen to the show. I love the show. You know, this or that. You know, when do I get my turn on the podcast? The numbers don't lie to me. I know some of you fuckers, and I guess I'm only confronting the ones who actually watch the show by saying this on the show, but I know some of you motherfuckers are lying to me.
I mean, we're
dead
known
to my
as, like,
fucking face.
Yeah, we're known as like the podcasters, though, and that's fun. That's fun. We
it's fun
they
to be
did like
the
a joke.
People turn to of just like, I'd like to be on the show, you know.
They did a joke in the like Willow Discord of like Willow SMP the podcast, and it was just a live stage. It was pretty much just like a stream with multiple people in it. But only to their view. I don't know why they did it really, but they did it. And I saw that notification on my phone of like Willow SMP the podcast starts now, and both of us get into the fucking audience, and they're like, oh yeah, we should probably pull them in, and both of us are just like, how fucking dare you?
We got to the podcast first, and so yeah, we beat them to the punch. But yeah, that was very funny. We got to just like horn in on their little moment and go, look, don't you fucking think you could replace us? But no, somebody is lying to us. I think it speaks well of how we handle guests, that people who haven't seen the show are so eager to come on the show, because like, oh, my friend was on it, like so and so was on it, and they had a great time, you know, and they got asked some really good questions, and so I want to be on the show, you know, because you guys are my friends, and I you know, whatever. And I think that speaks well about us. But some of you motherfuckers who are saying shit about how you've seen the show are lying, and I will fucking get you as soon as I find out who you are. Expect a funny little package in your mailbox. I'm about to make the Unabomber look like a fucking newspaper boy. All right.
I actually have dealt with a few times.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I'm joking around. Bombing people, Vox.
I've had that one in my back pocket for a minute. All right. I've been looking for an excuse to use it. We don't wish any harm upon anybody, particularly friends of the show like Willow SMP. However, when I do catch you motherfuckers, that's all that needs to be said. What were you saying, Jed?
I have had a few circumstances where I've talked to somebody on Willow, and they've been like, yeah, I was watching your like 5th episode of the podcast, and I heard you talking about this, and I was like, you were watching the podcast? That's something
those are the ones that throw me so hard. That's something that throws me so hard. I'm just like, yeah, in episode 8 or episode like 9 of the podcast, because that was a solo episode. Those are the ones where we actually talk about topics. In episode 9 of the podcast, you said you were having a hard time with this and this. Are you still having a hard time with that? Are you good? And it's like, yeah, that was like 3 weeks ago. I'm fine. You know? Actually, no, that was more than 3 weeks ago. That was like over a month ago. I'm doing all right now. 2? Yeah, 2? No, it hasn't been 2 months since episode 9.
It'll be 2 months in next week.
Yeah, next week it will be, but not now. But it's almost 2. You're right. But yeah, no, that's like they'll like throw out a specific topic, like, oh yeah, you know, I heard you like this, you know, and it's very hard for Willow people to socialize with me. And it's very hard for me to socialize with Willow people because there's so many hours in the day, and I can't even like. I have lifelong friends who I don't see like more than an hour a day. So I have to like try and make time for everybody, and it's just like if an event's happening, I'll go. Otherwise, impromptu, like people can DM
Really
me and go like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" It's like, "Yeah, sure." Oh, excuse me, Jesus Christ!
Gross.
Yeah, sure. That was like a hiccup and a burp. That was awful.
Was really gross.
That's how, and maybe that's because I do that kind of shit, and that's why
maybe
wants to hang out with me.
That's why people don't like you.
But no. People don't not like me. It's obvious that when I'm around people, they have a good time around me. It's just like I'm not that engrossed in the Willow lore currently. Like my character doesn't do a whole bunch, and honestly, I kind of like it that way. I like being sort of quasi lore, where I'm able to come in on lore moments and give layman's commentary, like, dude, you fucking killed my mom. I don't want to talk to you. And it's like turning to Jed and go, they killed that guy's mom. It's kind of fucked up. You know, I like that. That's what we do.
Last
like primarily, not last stream,
time
but
on
Wednesday.
Willow SMP. For me,
last time on the Willow SMP,
we ended up sitting in this meeting about like, Herobrine is bad. We need to stop him from coming back. And I was just kind of sitting there at one of the seats right next to Dark, just like, man, I don't think he's that bad. Like, kind of like they were just kind of here, and it'd kind of be rude for us to kick them out. So
it's just like there's something about Dark and everybody discussing just like Herobrine did this to me, or he did that to me, or a loved one. He killed my friends. He imprisoned me in the void. He fucking like ate all my cookies and left the jar empty. So when I went to get a cookie, there were none. Or like he kind of just vaguely haunts my mansion. What the fuck? And then like it's cut over to Jed, and he's like, I think we're blowing this whole thing out of proportion. I kind of like that guy. You know, it's also funny. It's a very funny bit.
They were like, okay, but should we be talking about this in front of like one of the people from Herobrine? And I kind of look over and I'm just like, who me? And everybody all went like, yeah, but Jed's like, he's mostly chill. He actually hasn't done anything now that we're thinking about it.
Pretty harmless. Yeah, that was the plot point. Oh man, we need to talk to Halo and see if we can get you in on some actual Herobrine action, just so your character has some actual shit to do.
Get that a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. We just need to ambush Halo and have them like do lore with you.
I'll probably DM them after this, but like, just like it was just funny to have just like but you know, he may be working for Hitler, but he's kind of just chilling.
I mean,
like, he's just hanging out.
He's
not a Hitler. He's a
done anything for the Nazi Party, you know? Yeah. Like, he just sort of like comes to the meetings and eats the donuts.
He's just kind of there, and he eats the donuts, and sometimes he'll be like, you know, Hail Hitler or whatever.
You ever do that? By the way, that'll be a clip of you doing the fucking like Heil is out there now. I just need you to know. That is not getting cut from the episode. I'm leaving that in. I, as the master of all edits, must fucking decree that you saying the good old HH gets to stay in the podcast episode.
Yeah, Vox, and I can get you threatening to bomb people with a much less joking tone from this episode.
Yeah, but I think people acknowledge that I don't know how to build a bomb, and I'm not threatening anybody specifically. I think
people acknowledge that I'm not a Nazi.
I don't know. It's much easier to like find out that somebody's a Nazi than to find out that they're like an equivalent to the Unabomber. But I didn't threaten anybody specifically. That was a hypothetical joke scenario. Actually. No, I didn't threaten any specific human being. I didn't put a name out there. I vaguely insinuated
details of the person.
I didn't say any specific human being. When did I give a name?
You didn't give a name, but you had said that like the person who didn't make it to the last episode, I will bomb you.
That's not what I said. I said, Jed, do you listen to anything I'm saying, or do you do the thing where you just shut your fucking brain off until it's your turn to talk? Jesus Christ. Because what I said, I wasn't saying that about our guest who couldn't make it. I was saying that about the people whomever keeps lying to us about seeing the show when I know we haven't. Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're gonna fucking try to get me on charges for threatening someone hypothetically, at least know who I'm trying to threaten here. But
that's
you could do me the common courtesy of knowing who I'm threatening. But no, yeah, I hypothetically threatened to bomb someone. You unhypothetically, actually for real said Heil, like out of context.
I said it jokingly.
Yeah, it's jokingly, but it's a phrase you can say. I can't just say I'm gonna build a bomb and suddenly I'm guilty of building a bomb, you know? I don't know. Fucking let's not talk about our crimes this episode. Let's move on from talking about our criminal history and maybe affiliations with racist groups. We have no affiliations, of which we have none of either. Crimes or affiliations.
My character is just chill. He's just hanging out, and everybody acknowledges that. Like, there are people who are like, yeah, no, man. Like, Herobrine genuinely, like, he, like, killed my entire family and, like, tortured me and then threw me in a cage, and I only recently escaped. It's like, oh, I like Herobrine. And their reaction, which really should be, dude, fuck you, get out of my home, is normally just like, oh, well, all right. I mean, I guess we can have different opinions.
We must respect his opinion.
Like, and it's really funny because I am just in the wrong.
Seem bigoted.
Oh man,
just like outright, just like no. Let him speak. Everyone deserves a place at the table. After just like, I think the guy who killed your dad's pretty cool. Actually, I don't know. It seems like pretty chill.
He's getting a bad rep.
You ever do that? You ever go to meetings for something simply to just like, no. Wait a minute. What did you think I was saying? You ever do that too?
Like just being on the opposition side of just like, well, I mean, like, I'm hearing all this like bad stuff, but overall, I think that they're kind of fine.
We're just talking about an instance of you doing that. No, but what was I saying? I was saying, you ever do that? You ever show up to like meetings or something just to have like free donuts and coffee? I do that. I've done that.
Not really.
I only did that once in high school. I can
buy my free donuts and coffee. I also am a big guy.
They're not free then, are they? God,
no, but like,
it's not about the money, and it's not about if you can afford it. Free food's free food. But no, in high school I did that once. I went to the Future Business Leaders of America meeting, and I showed up to what I thought was the sign up for said meeting, or sign up for said club, but was actually just like not necessarily a sign up, but like you're in, instantaneously. If you start going to the meetings, and once they take attendance on the first one, you're in the group. And I had the person who ran that at our school, I had them like down my throat. Okay, that's a way to put that. I had them like jumping all over my case about why don't you come to meetings? Why don't you come to? You're in the group. I was like, I didn't know I was in the group, dog. It's been several weeks, and now it would be awkward for me to show up. I'm really not that interested. But they handed out donuts at the first one, so I got a free donut out of it. And I did come to one more at their behest, and there were more donuts, so I did have another donut. And then I left and never returned.
I've been meaning to talk about this for a while. Free food? A free donut for a skinny guy versus a free donut. Like a skinny guy eating a free donut is very different than a fat guy eating a free donut.
Why is that? It's just not as filling for you? Or
no, social perspective.
Oh yeah, social perspective. I don't know. Because I guess I get it. Yeah. On one hand, you're like the cool guy in the office. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna go down and grab a donut from the break room, and then like, but if you get caught eating a fucking free complimentary donut as a larger individual, people are making fucking Homer Simpson references at you. No, I get you. I understand. I didn't know that perception is what you're talking about. I thought you meant there was a difference in just like the free donut is less alluring to me as a man of size. Genuinely.
If I'm offered food at somebody's house or something like that, where it's like, oh, you want any snacks or anything?
Refined weight I'll be like, refined taste.
I'll be like, nope, I don't want any food or anything. Mainly because if you see me eating food, then that like enables all of your biases towards me. It feels,
Is that really how you walk around living your life?
It is.
Not taking free snacks or anything? That fucking sucks, dude. I don't get free shit most of the time. I don't get free snacks
half the time, like
places. Because, like, dude, they're always offering some weird shit. It's not just like, hey, you want a bag of chips? We have these, like, fun-sized bag of chips. Here, you can have one. Or, like, you want a soda? I'll take a soda if offered to me, or a water if offered to me, or, like, tea or anything. I usually don't take tea because I usually won't take tea or coffee, because usually they'll give you tea or coffee in a glass, and I don't trust other people's ability to wash dishes. Is that rude? Is it rude to say you can't fucking eat at everybody's house?
But... I don't think it's rude. It's just like I don't generally like mind all that much because like what's the worst that could happen? A little bit of soap scum,
what? No, the worst thing that can happen is, yeah, there's this glass. I've been using it for 3 days. I just rinsed it out before I gave it to you. You know, like that's the
Well,
worst
yeah.
that can happen. You have no idea just how bad it can get until you're sitting in fucking Asmongold's house and he offers you a sandwich and he comes in and there's fucking roach on it. No, like or the equivalency therein. But like, no, I don't think you can eat at everybody's house, but because it's just like, do they like when I'm going to somebody's place for dinner, I don't eat usually. Is that I know that's rude, at least, of just like I'm not
Yeah.
eating. I'm not no, I'm sorry, I'm hungry. I didn't know it was coming. You know, I lost my appetite on the way here. Sorry, I can't eat. You know, mostly because like I don't trust everybody's ability to clean their like cookware entirely. It's not just like is the plate and fork I'm eating with clean. It's also a question of like, okay, you're making spaghetti, or you're making like a chicken parm. Do you clean your cutting boards and sanitize them properly?
Yeah.
Are you one of those people that like, oh, is the sauce good? I don't know. Instead of taking a spoon, I'm just gonna dip my finger in and have a little, and then dip
Oh,
it back
finger's
in
a
there
problem.
again. Yeah, finger is an issue for me.
I've had like spoon take finger swipe off like the edge of the spoon where it makes like almost no contact
that's the
with it.
same thing. Almost no. That doesn't cut down on the germs really at all.
But like that's really only if I'm making food for myself.
Yeah,
Like
I'll only do that kind of
otherwise,
thing if I'm cooking for me and my husband. I'll do that just because like we've
oh
swapped
dude,
spit enough that it really does not matter.
dude, if I'm cooking for myself, the whole fucking spoon is going in my mouth.
Dude, if I'm cooking for myself, sometimes
Like the
if I'm cooking
whole
for myself, I
serving
don't
spoon
cook
that
a
I'm
pot
cooking
of food. But if I were cooking a pot of food for myself, I'd probably just eat it out of the pot if I knew I was the only one who was
Yeah.
ever going to eat out of that.
Sometimes I'll
batch of
do
food.
that. Sometimes I'll do that and I feel like a feral animal. One time I was like, man, it's really nice weather outside, and I made ramen for myself. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit outside and eat, and I'm gonna talk on the phone with Vox and everybody, since that's the thing. And I was sitting with a pot of ramen, eating in my backyard, and my stepdad comes downstairs, opens the door, looks at me, and closes the door. And it's just like, I'm just like, to his perspective, I am just sitting out there fucking macking down with a pot and like a serving spoon. And he's sitting in the backyard with no lights on.
God,
It's fucking wild.
that is insanity, dude. Like I don't like to eat outside either because bugs. I don't know if you guys get a lot of bugs,
We don't get a ton
especially
of bugs because we're
airborne
in the
ones.
desert.
But like we get like flies and shit, so it's just like I don't want to risk that. So I don't if I can eat under like shelter or inside, I prefer to. But no, I don't take teas or coffees. Like I don't like to drink out of people's glasses. I don't like to eat off people's plates. And more importantly, they offer weird shit. Sometimes if they're just offering like a soda or a bag of chips, I'll take it. But it like a lot of the times they're offering like, you want a sandwich? I'm making myself a sandwich. I'll make you a sandwich too. And it's like, dude, I'm not gonna like stand here while you make me a sandwich. I will just like, and I'm not hungry. I eat before I go places. Like before I leave the house, I make sure I'm fed up. Because I don't want to like, if I'm out and I'm hungry, I'll buy food. Is my issue. I don't have bad impulse control, but like I don't want to risk. I don't want to risk like buying food in public. Like I don't like to buy snacks because that's how they fucking get you. Is like convenience stores of just like, yeah, I'm really hungry, man. I'm not gonna be home for another half hour. I'll buy a fucking $5 beef jerky from the dollar store and then fucking make it home, I guess. And it's like I could have saved $5 by simply eating before I left.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's usually how I do it.
But yeah, fat guys.
Yeah, fat guys. Poor perception.
Very different.
Yeah, no,
Very different.
I get where you're coming from now. I get where you're coming from. I didn't initially.
Everything. It's something you don't notice. Like, have you ever hung around a big guy and they do the shirt flick, where they just like, no, that's a thing. You
mean the shirt flick, like the heat thing, where you're like pulling your shirt in and out for like air?
Like you like pinch it at like by where your stomach is, and you just like lift it up a little bit and then like let it fall back so that it gives like more space for your stomach. Yeah, pretty much.
Make gut room.
Gut room, yeah, it's pretty much.
I've never had to
like
make
that's
gut
a
room
thing.
even once. It's great.
Great, I'm so proud of you. But oh my god, that rung the vents. That noise.
Don't worry,
But
I'll be there with you. I'll be there with you one of these days, Jed. I'll be there with you one of these days.
maybe you've got fucking stupid metabolism.
I have insane metabolism. I eat like a fucking horse, and I weigh 160 something pounds. With minimal fluctuations. And but someday it is slowing. It is slowing. I barely weighed 100 pounds in high school, and I ate the same way. But
I could throw you.
Yeah, no, I weigh 160 pounds. You could throw me. We've been over this. But one of these days, my metabolism is going to slow down, and I've made my peace with the fact that like that shit comes for us all. I'm not spending my youth like counting calories and working out. I simply will get old and fat. I will get old and fat. I'm not spending my time on hair and skincare routines or fucking like counting calories and dieting and shit. I will simply enjoy my life as it is, and then someday the fruits of my labor will be smile lines on my face and a couple sets of 50 pounds. I was gonna say a couple 100 pounds, but I fucking doubt I'm gonna be 300 ever. But I will get old and I will get fat and I might even lose my hair, and I've made my peace with that. In exchange for living a good life for another like decade or so before that happens.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, moving on, because
moving on from like the treachery of time, and how it comes for us all. Before we started recording.
Before we started recording, we were talking. Vox had gotten back to his desk because we had a busy day, and then we were just talking because that's what we do. We're very good friends. So when we see each other, we start talking about like what's going on and everything, and that's just kind of an instinct. And so, like, we're talking for 5 minutes about what was going on with our day, and Vox stops us and goes, like, we just did, like, 5 minutes of podcast episodes. Save it for the podcast. So now I'm going to talk about my day. Was your day, like, super crazy, or do you want to go into it?
There was a lot of weird bits. I wouldn't say it was crazy. I wouldn't say it was, like, a roller coaster of emotions or anything. I mean, just a light shopping trip with a couple of oddities. Such as, we kicked off the day, really excited, real happy, because we have money, we can go get groceries. We already planned to go out and get dinner later that night, and I'm getting my keyboard today. I have it, by the way, but on the way there, we were driving for about an hour, we were listening to music, we were vibing. We went to the gas station because we were running on empty stomachs and had been since the night before. So we went to the gas station, we got like a fountain drink for 99 cents, That's the thing I love about around here. Gas station prices have never changed. You could still get an extra large, like, big-ass fountain drink, and I know this isn't the case everywhere, but, like, it's the case. I think it's the case more often than you would think. You can still, for 99 cents, rock up to the gas station, get a bag of chips, well, not for 99 cents, but you can get a bag of chips and a fucking a Slim Jim, and we got a bag of chips, 2 Slim Jims, and an extra large soda for fucking $5.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a big bag of chips. It was like a gas station size single serve bag of chips. Which, by the way, they were these Circle K branded. I don't know if you've ever like set foot in a Circle K and looked at their chip offerings in their own brand.
Yeah, I've had them.
But they have some odd flavors. I love gas station food because they're really willing to.
Buffalo chicken ones. Those ones are good. Those ones are the only ones that are actually good.
I saw the grilled hot dog ones, and I was like, gas station hot dog.
Oh, that's
potato
real
chips
weird.
seem like they might be rancid, but they could be real good. But we ended up going with the cheesy garlic bread flavored chips, and they were real fucking good.
Ooh.
A lot of garlic. They tasted like the first couple. Obviously, they're like Ruffles. They were about that texture. They weren't like a Pringle. They were like a Ruffle, and so like a traditional like potato chip. And they had like ridges and whatnot, and I'm eating them, and the first chip in, it's like, this kind of just tastes like a potato chip. It doesn't really taste like anything. And then I get 2 or 3 in, and there's like a little bit of potato mush in my mouth from eating them, kind of like stuck to my teeth or whatever. And it's like, it's like Doritos. It's like, you ever have a Dorito and it's like, yeah, it tastes like a Dorito, but it doesn't taste like Doritos, and then you have more Doritos and the flavor gets, more accumulative as you build the fucking like shit in your mouth. It was like that, where it just tasted more and more like fucking garlic bread the more that I ate it. It tasted like fucking heavily toasted garlic bread, so it was a little like smoky around the edges. It was nice. I like smoky flavorings in my potato chips. I'm a big proponent of that. And we got Fritos flavored Slim Jims. I didn't realize they were Fritos flavored until we were in the
Ew!
car. They weren't bad. They just tasted like beef.
Ew!
Really, you couldn't taste the Frito at all. Wait, do you not like Fritos?
I don't like Fritos, but also who the fuck? Okay, a Frito that's flavored like a Slim Jim, I can live with that. Who the fuck is going to a meat product and being like, I wish this tasted like corn?
It is
chips.
odd. I'll admit that it is odd, but it just added like a little like twinge at the end of the fucking meat of just like, it added like a little twinge where it was just like, oh yeah, there's a little bit of like a sort of cornstarchy taste to that. All right.
Oh, chili cheese Fritos.
Yeah, they were like the chili cheese Fritos. They were the chili cheese Fritos.
I thought they straight up were like.
Well, chili cheese Fritos are default Fritos in my brain. In my brain, like the chili cheese ones are the. I only have eyes for those. It like most stores will sell you like if you ask for Fritos, I'd wager the average person down here at least will get you chili cheese Fritos. Because those are like the most common. Are you talking about like the unflavored, just regular corn chip Fritos? Those suck.
Yeah,
those really
they aren't
suck.
good. No, that's why I was like, "Who the fuck?"
Did you Google them to find the fucking
because
one?
I know you have a habit of not saying it. Because I was like, I mean, the chili cheese Fritos, those can make sense, but like,
Yeah, no, they were the chili cheese ones. I didn't think I needed to specify. I didn't think that would change things for you at least.
It does. It does.
Feel the need to specify. But yeah, no, we got all that for $5, and we get to the counter. And the gas stations, like, the Circle K is starting to do this thing. I don't know if it's starting to. I don't go in gas stations very often. But they're starting to do this thing where they have, like, a fucking camera lit, like, above part of the counter. And you just set your shit on the counter. And they have just, like, a fucking image recognition thing go, oh, 2 Slim Jims, a large drink, and a bag of chips. Oh, yeah. All right, here you go. It didn't work because it was like it wouldn't detect the Slim Jims for some reason. So we ended up in line behind this guy buying his fucking scratchers. But that was fine. That only took like a minute. He was almost done by the time we like had fiddled with the fucking thing for 5 minutes. But we go and we actually pay, and that shit freaked me out, man. Gas stations shouldn't evolve. Gas stations should have gas stations should remain the same level of technology. I shouldn't have to self-serve at a gas station. A clerk should have to serve me at a gas station. God damn it! I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm so old-fashioned about that specifically. But either way,
about those Circle K ones, though, dude, if you put yourself on there, and I'm not saying I recommend doing this. I'm just saying if you accidentally, if the thing doesn't pick it up and it's laid out as it should be, you aren't it isn't your job to make sure that it reads everything. You're just there to pay. So take that as you will, dear viewer.
Yeah. No, that is a thing you can do. But fucking don't maybe slip something under a little something. I don't know. If you're feeling so broke you need to fucking like rob and steal for your fucking Slim Jims. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh, right. Gas stations shouldn't evolve. They should remain in like a good thing I tripped over my words there because it should be a fucking stasis. It should be exactly the same. I should be able to step into a gas station and have it be no newer than 2005. Every piece of technology in there. It should be that way. That's the way it should be.
I'm really appreciative of
I shouldn't have to figure out a weird custom like self-service point of sale system to get a fucking soda.
Dude, my local Speedway, they have a self-service station. It's straight up just a scanner. It's a scanner and like a thing, and it's just
that I would be fine with because that's like haphazard in the way that gas stations are meant to be. That fits the vibe.
Yeah. No, but that's very funny. It's also really weird. Have you ever done a self-service and there's somebody behind the counter right next to the self-service and you don't know if you should be like, have a good day, because they didn't serve you. And but if you walk out with just holding items, you're going to look like you're stealing.
Yeah, dude. No, you don't look like you're stealing. They watched you check out. That's their whole job is to stand there and ensure that you checked out.
Oh no, but this gas station, there isn't somebody to watch the self-checkout. It's just next to close enough to the register.
Well, okay, so here's what happens. I don't know if you've ever decided, nah, fuck this fucking machine. I'm getting in line. But if you pick your stuff back up, it makes an insanely loud fucking burp. Transaction canceled. Noise, very loud, where the clerk can very clearly hear it. It's loud as hell. And I was just like, why the fuck is that so loud? The rest of the machine was like, place your stuff on the scanner, you know? And then I was just like, oh, it's for situations like that, so they can make sure that you like. Okay, no, I heard it say transaction count. Where the fuck are you going, buddy? You know?
Yeah.
So you can't just put your shit on there, pretend to pay, and walk away, you know?
Yeah.
But I love when self-service things are just like it's literally just the normal point of sale system, but facing you instead of facing them. It's like it's such a funny thing because like you might as well have a sign up that just says you fucking do it then, you know?
Yeah. And to be
It's
fair,
such a
I
funny
always
thing.
do it quicker because, like, you know,
I do it
it's just
quicker than a
like,
cashier
beep,
would because I
beep,
skip
beep.
all the small
All right,
talk and
cool.
I just get it the fuck done. You know where I don't like the self checkouts? I don't like the self checkouts at Five Below. I'm not a big Five Below self
I've never
checkout
been
guy.
inside of a Five Below.
Well, I have a gay twink husband who likes his squishmallows every now and again. So I have, in fact, been in a Five Below, and they have like picture like the self checkout at a grocery store, you know, where they're like there's a big aisle in the middle, plenty of room, and then on either side there's like 3 self checkouts, you know, where even if people were pulled up and they've got their carts like half out of the way, there's still room for you to walk up the middle. Five Below is like that. Five Below is like that, except tighter in because they don't expect you to be showing up with a buggy full of stuff, you know. And even then, the like carts are smaller. And so like, but like not only that, there's enough room for you to stand and somebody to stand behind you, and you could reach out and shake the person behind you's hand if you were standing facing each other. Not only that, they have like 2 or 3 attendants who sit at the door. They're door greeters, you know, but like they also watch the self checkouts. That's like half their job is just watch the store, stock the store, greet people as they come in. But you know, and tell them to have a good day on their way out. But like it's just when I'm standing there, it's like I get the same feeling that I get in like little mom and pop shops, and I feel so bad. I don't shop at local businesses for this exact fucking reason. And I get why it is, but you ever been in a really small storefront where the fucking proprietor of the business from behind the counter can see you at all angles? Not like through a camera monitor, but they can like from behind the counter look forward and see you at all times, and boy, they are looking, you know? You ever have that happen?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been in one of those situations before. I don't find it all that weird. It's just a small store, you know, like it's like it's a good way to keep it.
I hate to be watched while I'm shopping. It makes me feel like it makes me feel like I'm under surveillance, which I am, and I get why they would be watching me. I just like I don't know, I don't like it.
Have you ever been inside of those those mom and pop shops that are small enough where they have mirrors in the corner, so it's like they can see you through the mirror, and it's the most unflattering angle known to man.
They've got it at like a 45-degree standing mirror. It's like a fucking funhouse mirror. It's awful. Yeah, no. Yeah. I absolutely know what you mean. But that's the problem with Five Below checkouts, is that there's just not enough room, and there's like multiple door greeters, and they fucking stare you down. Anyway, how did we get to here? Oh, self-service places and how I don't like them. But at the start of my day, we're gonna go based on the drive here. We're gonna talk about the drive there. You got a story about your drive to where you were going? Because if you do, then that's how we'll split it.
I have a story that leads up to it. So my sister is in Tucson again, and you know that's been a whole thing. But she doesn't have a car. We've been like trying not to get her a car just because she's right. You know, she's mostly disabled, and she does not
the most stable person.
Yeah, she's not the most stable person. In the last car that she got into like a head-on collision. So we've been trying to like put it off as much as we can, but she's been like, instead of driving around for herself, she will like call my mom at odd hours and be like, "You need to come get me now." And so like I was like, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm planning on getting a truck anyway because I outgrew a car." I bet you never heard somebody say that before. But that's a thing that happened. And it's not like a Fiat or anything. I'm just a 6'5" man in like a Kia Optima, like a regular size sedan. Like, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a new car anyway. So instead of trading it in, which I'm gonna get no price for, like we're gonna get nothing back for it, we'll just give it to my sister and she can use it. So I was like, all right. I finished my drive in the morning that I had, and I talked to my mom about it, and she agreed. And so I was like, all right. Drove back home, saw like really, really gross roadkill. And then on a back road, ended up coming back home. And I was like, all right, I'll clean out my car, and then I'll take it to the mechanic. I'll get it an oil change, you know, a seat belt,
Seat belt.
airbag sensor. One of those are out.
Airbag sensor.
So that needs to get replaced. And then I pull into the driveway, get that done. I clean out my car, and then I'm like, all right, I should be about ready to take to the mechanic. Look at the back tire, completely flat, fully no pressure.
Have it like
and I was like, fuck. So I was like, shit, god damn it. I had to back it out of the driveway, put it on the street, jack it up, get the tire off, then realize that my donut is flat. So then I had to go to the gas station, fill up the donut, and then I take off this tire and I look at it, and it's the most obvious, like, nail at a 45-degree angle into it. Like, the air was like, just like, the second I got that nail, it was gone. There was no air in there.
Was it like a patchable thing, or?
No, because it was going in at such an angle. It was not patchable.
And why do they even make those patches? I've never seen a tire pop in such a way that you could patch it.
Oh, I've patched many tires. I've patched like 3 or 4. They're very useful tools, but it's just very dependent.
It's just a thing. No,
I probably would have patched it if I was keeping it, but all the tires were kind of bald anyway. So I was like, I'll just get new tires. And so I put the donut on there, I leave it in the driveway, and then I wait until this morning where I was up at like 2 a.m. and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take it to the Walmart, and they're gonna put new tires on it at 7 a.m. when they first open. And then it becomes like 5 a.m. and I'm like, I'm pretty tired, I'm gonna take a quick nap. And then I slept until noon. And drove it down to the Walmart. The Walmart people were like, no, we don't carry tires in your size, and even if we did, it would be until like 7 p.m., which was a problem because we were going to record at 5 p.m. my time.
Dude, there was no realistic, like, I knew leaving the house I wasn't going to be home at 5 p.m., and I was like, I need to tell Jed that, and then I forgot until you messaged me, and I was like, oh, shit, right. Which, to be fair, was before 5 p.m., so...
Yeah, technically.
It was right about time, I felt less bad about it because the text that I got that reminded me was you saying that you wouldn't be able to make it, and so we're both just sitting on the information that we won't be able to make it until minutes beforehand, and then both of us drop
that was 3 hours.
Was it? I thought it was closer than that. All right, my bad. Until like a couple hours ahead, you're like, we're both like, oh, I can't make it, because I had just been out all day and I hadn't taken a moment to message you. I'd been in the car on my phone for the entire hour drive. But no, yeah, I fucking I
just didn't care to message you.
I got up and was that not it? Was there more going on there?
No, yeah, I was gonna lead into yours, so.
Oh, so right, no, okay. So I get up and I get a shower, I get dressed, and I leave the house. The plan was to leave the house, was to wake up at 12:45, get a shower, leave the house at like 1:10ish. We ended up leaving at 2. Because neither of our alarms went off. We set 2 different alarms, neither of them went off, and then one of them went off, and then the other got snoozed. One of them went off and we slept through it apparently. The other one apparently got snoozed, and that's the last time I put my husband in charge of the alarms. And so I wake up because I don't know if you know this about me. I have a pretty good internal clock. If I need to be up, I'll be up. I went to bed at my normal time of 6 p.m. Well, I went to bed at midnight, but I didn't actually make it to sleep until 6 or 7 a.m. And then I go to sleep and it's like, oh, man, I'm only going to get 5 hours of sleep between now and 1 p.m. So I guess I should at least try. And then I fall asleep pretty easy. And then I wake up well rested at 1:15, which would not have happened if it weren't a day where I needed to get up. My brain is just very good at hey, we got to get up within a 10-minute margin of error. I might be 10 minutes late, but without an alarm, I can get up within 10 minutes of when I need to. So most of the time it's 10 minutes early, but every now and again, today, it was 10 minutes late, 10, 15 minutes late. But it's a weird quirk that I've got going on in my fucking brain box. But thank God I woke up when I did, because that meant I had time to get up and get a shower still before we went. And then I went and I got a shower and we left just about 40 minutes late. And we get in the car and we're jamming out and we're having a good time. Gas station, I already talked about that. And then we're driving and we're on some of the back roads between here and Jacksonville. And suddenly I'm on my phone and we're just listening to music. and I just hear like the first thump, and I look up and go, Jesus Christ, because I knew we had hit something, but I thought we hit like a deer for a second, just because it was a very loud thunk. And then I look up out of the corner. I heard that, and I saw something black out of the corner of my eye, like up on the windshield, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And it was a hawk. It was a fucking hawk that it was on the roadside. It was picking away at something, and then went to swoop up into the lane as soon as we were passing, going fucking 60, and we hit it.
Birds are stupid like that.
It nearly fucking broke the windshield. You know, because it hit right at the fucking, the fucking shatter area of the windshield. Where, like, the corner bit that you're supposed to hit if you're ever fucking trapped in your car. Because that's, like, the point where all the, like, force and tension is on your windshield mount. So it's, like, you know, it's breakable. And luckily, no damage to the car at all. Not so much as a dent. But, we drive away, and my husband's, like, damn near crying because he just hit a fucking animal with his car and killed it. And I'm like, no, you're fine, It happens to everybody. He's probably fine. He's cool. He's all right.
Nah,
I'm sure of it. Like, after we had gotten out of the car, we stopped and got out of the car, but by the time we could stop, like, by the time, like, the shock had, like, oh shit, okay, we didn't hit anything big, it's fine. I had him pull over, and I got out, and I looked, and he tried to follow me, but I was like, no, stay back. So I was very scared that I was just gonna find, like, bits of, like, bird in the like, I was afraid I was about to start picking fucking feathers out of the fucking grill of the car.
Yeah.
And so I needed to ensure that was not the case, because that was just gonna make it worse for him. And thank God there was nothing, because he was rounding the corner right with me. And we get back in the car, and I'm like, he's fine. And I do some research, and I find out that hawks are very resilient birds. Hawks are very, like, big birds, so they're less prone to injury. I'm certain he got injured, but I learned some things about how like hawks work and how much force they can take before they die of impact. And like, he was probably injured, and that injury might have led to him dying, and it probably did. But like, I did Google it and I did look it up, and apparently the hawk there is a good chance that I wasn't bullshitting, and that hawk might have actually been okay.
Hey,
there's a good chance that he was fine. You know, and we didn't go back to look at him because it's a fucking hawk. If it is alive and lying in the road, it's probably gonna fucking claw our eyes out. So I'm not going back. That is a safety risk. So we're gonna live in a world where my husband gets to believe he didn't kill an animal today.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not sure he did or didn't. You know, it's less than 50% that he killed it, frankly. From the like armchair, like, fucking animal biologist, like avian biologist fucking research that I did. But like, you know, it's less than 50% chance that there was a straight fatality immediately, but he hit the windshield and just rolled over the top of the car a little bit and then off to the side. So he landed on the side of the road. He didn't land on pavement. He might have hit the shoulder on the way, but he didn't land on pavement.
Yeah. And
so, like, you know, there's a decent shot he's okay. Because birds are fucking crazy like that. Fucking hollow-boned freaks. But no, that was the start of our day, and I think that was the biggest, like, major, like, what the fuck, man, kind of oddity we had all day. But, you know, how was actually getting your tire changed? You said they didn't have your tire in your size.
Yeah. Well,
what happened next?
I had to drive up on a back road, because I was having a donut, and I can't go 75 on the highway.
Right.
So I was driving up on the back road, and I go the long way around.
The long way.
I don't know if I want to say where it is, because it's a very particular part of town.
Don't worry. Don't fucking give your address or give, like, where you were at in town at a given time. Just fucking tell the story.
You know, it was in, like, a bad part of Tucson, and if you live or have been near Tucson, you probably know where I'm talking about. It's a very particular side of Tucson. And I'm driving, and you have to go, like, through that area to get to the discount tire that I was getting to. And, you know, I'm driving there, and I see just some rich kids, like, a group of, like, rich boys in a 2024 Tesla that still had its, like, paper plate that you get when you first buy a car. And they roll up to a Challenger next to them. And they like all wave, and I didn't hear what they said, of course, because I had my windows up. But I see them wave in front of me, wave to the guy, and the guy finally like turns and looks at them, and the guy just nods. And they asked to race, apparently. And so I see both of them when the light turns green, just bang, and they both like floor it. And while the Tesla does go faster at first, the driver was fucking stupid, and they pulled off in front of the Challenger. And then has to slam on their brakes because there was somebody in front of the Challenger. And the Challenger goes into the far left lane and just, like, leaves them behind. While they were passing the Challenger, they, like, waved and did, like, a ha-ha. And then, like, I just watched the Challenger just fucking leave. And I was just like, God damn. It is fun to see some, like, rich kids getting, like...
Just eat shit
fucking,
for a minute.
Yeah, eat shit.
God, Speaking of rich kids and Tesla and the drive, minutes after we hit that hawk with the car, we saw a Cybertruck. Like, I looked out at my phone and I look up and I saw a Cybertruck for the first time. And Jesus Christ, it's like a jump scare. You ever see?
It's horribly ugly.
Dude, it's horribly ugly. It's way worse in person than you think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the promo images and the photos you see of it online, like, even the, like, candid photos of ones in the streets, like, it's hard to mentally process that that's a real thing, you know? And then you see it and it's like, Jesus Christ, you know?
It gives the same feeling that you get when your character in a game accidentally switches to its LOD model, like when it's too close to the camera and you're just like, oh, what the fuck? What's wrong with it?
Like, you know? I have yet to see a Cybertruck, and it made me, like, question my perception of reality for a second. In the same way that, like, I acknowledge that the Cybertruck is real. I wasn't under the impression that the Cybertruck was, like, a concept car or, like, a fictional thing. Like, I knew it was real, right? But there's a cognitive dissonance associated when an object that I've only ever seen on my Twitter timeline being clowned on appears in front of me. You know?
Yeah.
There's just like a certain disconnect of just like, huh? Oh, right, that's real. And so that got us past the whole like, oh shit, we just hit a hawk thing pretty quick. Because it's like, it's a standard thing. It happens, you know, like hitting birds with your car just is a thing that happens, you know. Everybody's bound to do it sometime. At least it was like hectic. Like there's a shot that bird survived and it didn't do any damage to the car. So like we got a pretty good one, all things considered. But then that and the Cybertruck, and then we were almost there, and so we stop in Best Buy and we go in and they have the keyboard I want, except they only have the wired model. They don't have it. They have the wired model in 100% keyboard format, which was smaller than it looks on the website. But I still ended up getting the one I got because I did all the research for the one I got, not for their 100% variant for that one. And that one didn't have the knob either. So I was just like, I'm going as intended. All right. They don't have it in stock here. That's fine. Because I check on their website and I'm like, can I order it for pickup here? Maybe they've got one in the back and they just haven't stocked it yet. Because there were two Best Buy employees in the aisle with us currently while we were looking through the stock. Not before we realized they didn't have one right there, or we would have just asked them. But I was just like, okay, can I order it online real quick? Is that an option? Let me see if I can pull it up on the website, order it online for pickup here in an hour. And worst case, we'll just go to the other stores that we need to go to and swing back around. And I was like, oh, no, not this one. But there was another Best Buy like 30 minutes away. So we just get up and go, and we go 30 minutes away and get it. And that is the end of that entire story. We did that, and we got cat toys, and then we fucking went for dinner.
Yeah.
Because we went through, right? And well, dinner was kind of a hard part. We went through and we went to restaurants and we were like, I'm not really feeling pizza right now. So we don't want to go to one of the like pizza places here that are local. So why don't we there's a burger place, but you're not really feeling burgers. You want like pasta. I mean, we could go to Chili's. We don't have a Chili's in town. So we could eat Chili's while we're here. So we're at least vaguely taking, you know, because it was Chili's, Olive Garden, or options we had already like, I'm not really feeling that, you know?
Yeah.
And so we go to Chili's, and we walk in the door, and they go, hey, we've got a 30-minute wait, and it's like, we haven't eaten a proper meal all day. Fuck it. If I'm gonna have to wait 30 minutes, I'd much rather just be back in town and eat Olive Garden. If we're going to go to one of two Olive Gardens, I'd like it to be the one closer to the grocery store, in case, like, this food does not agree with me for some reason. You know, I'd like to be a little closer to home in that case. And it went over well. We had a good Olive Garden meal, but we ran home. We ran, you know, back to good old hometown, and had a Olive Garden meal. And we're very quick about it because our server was so fucking quick and the cooks were so fucking quick at this Olive Garden. Like, we ordered, and within 5 minutes, our appetizer was out. And then within 10 minutes, including that 5 minutes, like 5 minutes after that, our soups were here. And only like 2 minutes after that, our entrees were here. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Just back to back to back, you know? And so it was very nice. I had a nice sweet tea. I had a nice, like, full, like, big ass plate of chicken Alfredo, dude. I'm
a fan of their shrimp Alfredo mainly, but yeah.
I'm not a shrimp guy. I just don't like shrimps that much. I'm not a big shellfish enjoyer. But I had their chicken Alfredo, and it was good. I had their I had a nice soup, and you know, I ate my soup. I ate breadsticks. Did you know that like you get the unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks with your meal now? Like, that's just a meal inclusive
been like
thing?
that for a while.
Has it? I don't go to Olive Garden much. I remember
that
being
for my
its own,
entire
like,
life, at least.
For like $7.99, you can get the fucking soup, salad, and breadsticks, or you could get food. You know, like that was like the thing, or you can pay the additional fee to get it with your food. But now it's just included. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I've always thought it worked that way. Weird. I like the breadsticks well enough, and we got their like stuffed ziti fritters, which is probably my favorite appetizer that they have. A little bite-sized thing, you know, good for you.
Yeah.
Had a nice big meal, and I'm texting Jed the whole way on the car ride to the restaurant and on the way out of the restaurant, because you called me at like 4:17, presumably to tell me that you couldn't make it. That's presumably what you called me to tell me you couldn't make it, not for the actual show. So I'll give you a slide on that one. I did not answer because my phone didn't tell me you were calling me. Because I found out later it's because I had our DMs open at my desk. And that's why. Like, I left Discord open making them red. So it's not making them, it didn't like count them as red because I was like tabbed out, but I had them open, so it like just pushed the notifications to only my desktop and not my phone, because Discord's funky about not doing double ups on that kind of thing. Like, I get your stream notifications. I get your stream notifications when I go to bed at like 1 a.m, you know?
Yeah.
It's, or like 1 to 4, but they're still like time stamped correctly, so it's like, oh yeah, they're fucking 8 o'clock, right? But you call me at 4, I do not answer, and then you tell me what you had to tell me anyway, and we have a small conversation about that, and then let's see, let's find the next one. Here we go. You called me. We had a slight conversation that ended with me saying, yeah, I'll be home in a minute. And I said, okay. And I said, I'm on my way home. You said, you home? I said, I'm on my way home now. Just got caught up in the grocery store for a minute. Headed home now. Just doubled down. And you said, all good. I ended up cleaning out my car anyway, since you would be gone a while after I got my tires. I'll be home for a while now, though. And then you called me again. I've been home for a while now, though. And then you called me again at 9:19. And that message was at 9:12. I was still in town.
I call you on silent, by the way.
On the way home meant I was about to be home. Like, not about to be home, but I'm like, I have gotten in the car where I was, and I am on my way. That's usually
so what
when
happened
I send those
there?
Messages.
Yeah, I called on silent and then said, no pressure, of course, just doing it so I'm not worried about missing a notification. I didn't know that Clyde would kick me after like 2 minutes. I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, you can't
just hang out in a DM call.
I thought it was like a Discord chat, so that's why I was fucking doing that.
That happens, yeah. But then you call me and you say, no pressure, just making sure I'm not missing a notification or anything, you know, of course. And then I go, which explains that, because I was going to ask you about that, because like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? How would calling me help that? Because I knew about the Clyde thing, and I was just like, it's not like you could just hang out in there. But you were like, I was like, shit, my phone isn't serving me notifications. Less than 10 minutes out now. And you went, take your time. And at 9:45, I said, just got home. Let me run to the bathroom and I'll be in, because I had to shit, dude. And then 4 minutes later at 9:49, you call me.
Yeah, well, because like I was like, okay, there's no way that Vox is gonna be like Vox. You are the most world record shitter I've ever met. It takes you like
a quick
2 minutes
trip
to
the
shit.
bathroom. Yeah,
So I was
most
like,
of my
it's
shit
been
time is wiping.
like 5 minutes. I'm sure it will take Vox less than 3 minutes, like less than 7 minutes to do like a total shit around. Turns out it took Vox. Here we have like a time code for this. It took Vox 10 minutes. 10
Yeah,
minutes to take
no,
a shit, Vox. Get your times up.
I was fighting for my life, dude. It was a long day. I was on a full stomach, and it was like my body was playing Pong. I was so full, dude. Like it was so crammed full in there. It was like I had like a bag of liquid, and I was squeezing. You ever squeeze a stress ball and like both ends of the stress ball fucking burnt out the sides? Yeah, like that. It was like that, except like my body like sat me down and had a proposition. It was like, look, we are like beyond capacity right now. You're it's coming out one end or the other, buddy. Make your choice, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, the food I just ate is coming up, or food I ate the other day is coming down, you know?
Yeah.
For in an effort to not get too gross on the show. So I fought for my fucking life. And then I called you 10 minutes later, yeah.
Yep. And then we started recording the podcast.
That's 6 minutes. That's 6 minutes between you calling me and me calling you.
Yeah,
9:49 to 9:54.
I waited 4 minutes. I waited 4 minutes.
Oh, you waited
for
4 minutes after. Okay, no, that tracks then. And yeah, that's where we're at now. I wanted to ask you because you called me like five. It felt like you called me like 5 fucking times. It felt like every time I opened my phone today, I opened Discord and I had a missed call from you that was new.
No, I called you 3 times. One of which was the only time that it actually mattered.
Yeah.
The other 2 times it was literally just for my own convenience, but it never ended up working. But yeah, my day.
Anyway, that was my whole day. Finish up your day. Yeah. What were you
after seeing the people race, I then I made it to the tire place. I get in there. I talk to them. Oh, fuck! Yeah, I never finished this. I went down to Walmart today on the donut to get the tires. And I go in there and I talk to them and they're like, yeah, we've got like 2 tires of each like level of them. So it's like
I go into the
cheapest,
tire shop and they go,
expensive.
yeah, what do you want? And I go, do you have any tires for my fucking car? And they go, no, we're out of tires for your fucking car. Anyway.
But they're like, yeah, we have 2 of each of the levels of like low, medium, and high price. And I was like, can I like mix and match? And they went, no, you can't do that. And I just went like, okay, so when will you guys have the tires? And they're like, you can order them online. I was like, I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not ordering tires online for like, and not being able to use or give my car to my sister for like a week. I'm not doing that. And so I called the discount tire that's like 25 miles away. So I had to drive like 25 miles on the spare. But I call them and they're like, yeah, we can get you done by like 4:10 if you get in now. And I was like, all right, give me like half an hour and I'll be there. And I drive up there. I see the people.
I call the discount tire and they pick up the phone and they go, hey, you sound like you've got weasels on your face. Anyway,
yeah. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
You've put me into an Albuquerque-based mania for a while now. Anyway, go ahead.
I've referenced it like maximum once a day. But
yeah, that's
like,
enough.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, I made it to the discount tire, talked to them. They looked at my car. They were like, shit, these tires are old. Your donut is the same donut that was with the car. The car is like 14 years old. Like this is the original donut, and they were like, "We can turn one of your old tires into a spare tire if you'd like." And I was like, "Sure, we'll do that." And so, I get in there.
They
and
they're
gonna
do something with it. Like they say, like we're gonna turn it into your spare tire, as though like they're gonna commit some ritual other than just like cleaning up the tire and fucking hucking it in the boot of your car.
Well, no, they put a new rim on it because like it's a like a shitty rim versus a nice looking rim.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do that.
Would you get like a nice chrome rim, and then you're gonna be walking around, like if you ever pop a tire again, you're gonna be going around with one chrome rim.
Yeah, it's a black metal, like black painted metal, but yeah,
that's not so bad.
That's not too bad, and like my other rims are just like kind of like a chrome plastic.
Yeah.
So like it's not too bad. But they're like, all right, it'll be done around like 4:10. and I think I got it in there at like 2:45. So I was like, all right, that's not bad. Like an hour and a half. Walk over to the Firehouse Subs. I get a sub, eat the sub, have a good time. I then am like, it's now like 3:30.
You got the pizza meatball marinara, didn't you? You were talking
I
about
did
that
get the
before
pizza meatball marinara, and I got their mac and cheese because their mac and
It
cheese
used
is good.
to be an online exclusive. How do you feel about Firehouse Subs? I said before
That's
the show,
good.
you asked me, and I was like, I think they're my favorite sub place. I think they're my favorite sandwich chain that is focused on
I
solely
think
making
Jersey
the
Mike's
sandwiches.
beats it out for me, but
That's
yeah,
a
I think
personal
Firehouse is
taste.
good.
I think we can all agree in the current market where the $5 footlong is
Subway is
far gone.
worthless.
Subway is not worth going to. I think if I could eat a
Yeah.
Subway sandwich and save $5, I probably still would be eating Subway sandwiches. But the fact that they're like the same price, if not more, than like a Jersey Mike's or a Firehouse Subs, it's like I'll just go to Firehouse Subs, dude, where the food is fresh and I get a pickle. You know,
The pickle is good. The pickle is good.
the
there, but
pickle is
no,
a
like,
nice treat after you finish your sub. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I had a good sandwich. I had a good mash. I had a good nosh or whatever the fuck the British people say. And then I had about like 45 minutes before it was about time to go in there. And I walked around the back of the Firehouse Sub, got some shade, sat on the like concrete by the Firehouse Subs, and I like smoked a cigarette for a while. And then I feel one very large drop of water fall onto my hand. Nowhere else has water. I was like, where the fuck did that come from the roof? Where did this come from? Because it was like a spit level of like amount of water, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I looked to my right, and there's another one, and it was just the start of rain, just really heavy rain. And I was like, oh, okay, real inconvenient that it happened to land right on my hand.
Big water for big man.
Yeah, like genuinely, I've never had it to where it's like normally when you get some rain on you, or like the first few drops of rain on you, it's like, oh yeah, that's rain. This time it was like, did somebody spit on me from the roof of the Firehouse Subs?
Yeah, no, usually when I get rained on, or like when I'm in the rain as it like very first begins, the clouds aren't super heavy, and it's like, yeah, that's probably rain droplets, or it could be my hand falling asleep. But if it's the first thing, I should probably start sprinting to cover instead. Because here, I don't know how it is for you, but if you feel those first few droplets, odds are you need to get the fuck out of the way, or you will be soaked within seconds.
Oh no! So like I just kept
ting, 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 and then it's whoosh, like all rain.
They were really big droplets, but like I was like, oh, it's whatever. The rain's nice; it'll cool me off a little bit. And I finished my cigarette, and then it starts to rain even. It starts to rain even harder, and I was like, okay, it's actually starting to rain now. I can say it's raining. So I start to walk over to the tire place, and by the time I get there, it is like a fucking hurricane going on, like an absurd amount of rain and air, and I'm just like, I'm walking.
Just like a sopping wet man holding half a sopping wet sandwich comes into the fucking door.
Well, no, I did eat the sandwich. I had already eaten the sandwich.
Oh, okay, like, the sandwich was a big funny part of this visual to me.
Between the Firehouse Subs and the discount tire is a big empty dirt lot. So I am a 6'4".
You're running through the mud like you're in fucking Vietnam.
Through the desert, like just getting rained on, and then I walk into the discount tire, and they like, it just so happens that my car finished like 10 minutes after I walked in, and the guy pointed at me to the other guy who finished my car tires and was like, here you go. And that was the entire conversation. By the time I got out there, though, it was genuinely like a tropical storm, like fucking absurd. And I sat in the tire place's parking lot for a few minutes, and I was like, I'm gonna be late. I'm just gonna drive through the rain and make it. And I did make it. And new tires and rain.
They've got on his fucking midnight motorist shit all the way back.
Yeah.
He's like cutting across traffic. He's weaving through lanes.
I can't wait to fucking go home
and
then like beat my son, but then find out that my son has been taken by the monster boy. I don't know. I don't know what happens in that
the dastardly Fredbear.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
I don't know why. I thought you were about to drop some lore on me about what, like, is he going home to beat his son during Midnight Motorist? Is that what's happening there? Dude,
Like, kind of.
Like, I thought he was, like, in a hurry because, like, his son was already lost.
No.
Like, but no, he's just like, could you imagine speeding? Because he's like, oh, I'm so angry, I need to be closer to my son so I can beat him.
Because he walks in there, and then the person on the couch is like, just leave him alone today, you know, X name. I can't remember what name it is. But, like, just leave him alone today, which assumedly means that you're walking into your, like, son's room to beat him. And then you find his, like, window shattered, and it was like, oh, shit. I gotta save him. I can't beat him. I can't beat him if he's not in my room.
Somebody stole my beating child.
I sure hope they ain't beating him.
Wow, Dad, you saved me. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
Yeah, glad to have this thing back.
But like, yeah, that's our Midnight Motorist fucking lore drop here.
I guess.
Dude, the song in that game. Do you know the song in that game? It's
yeah, Midnight Motorist. The fucking. Yeah, no, it fucking kicks ass. It's good. It's like that's the reason I remember that. Just like it's very good son beating tunes.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the motherfucker who like actually played
go into business making games and then develop a child abuse rhythm game.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the little girl who plays that game and then like inevitably ends up getting the secret and just like, oh my god, what the fuck? I was just like dodging other cars on the highway. What the fuck?
I was just trying to play some reverse Frogger, man. Why you gotta do this to me?
Yeah, no, but yeah, that's Midnight Motorist. Fucking Christ.
Oh, no, yeah, Jed had his Midnight Motorist moment and then drove through the rain and made it home in time for the podcast. And then I didn't make it home in time for the podcast. So we were like 10 minutes late. But we're here. Oh, yeah. We're here. We're queer. Get over it. Or whatever.
But I got back to my little town.
Just deal with it, not get over it.
Got back to my little town, decided that Vox said that he would be longer than like 8 p.m. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna go like clean out the car, and I went into went through a Mr. Car Wash that we have, vacuumed out the car. They tried to peddle like the subscription service because I've had the subscription service before, and I never took the sticker off my car.
It's not a bad deal if you take good care of your car. Because like most, I don't know about your like car wash places and what their deals are.
But
ours
$10
is like
for a normal wash, and then $20 for like infinite washes a month.
Yeah, it's $20 for infinite washes a month, and so like you do a few washes, you
one a week,
twice a month. You wash your car twice a month, and you're good. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't ever go for that kind of thing because I don't think we've washed our car even once since. Scratch that. We went down a dirt road once and got so much mud in the fucking, like, tires and in the, like, axle of the car that the car had, like, a pull to it. And going through the car wash didn't help. And so we had to, like, go to a mechanic and have them just scrape mud out from under our car for, like, a half an hour. And then we got to go home after paying them, like, $70 to do nothing but scrape mud off the bottom of the car. Because we didn't pay the extra $5 at the car wash for the undercarriage wash, too.
Why wouldn't you get the? Oh my god!
We didn't know that was the problem.
Oh my god!
We thought we were like, okay, we have mud because there was a shitload of mud on the tires, and we thought that was the issue. Was that because one tire had a lot more mud than the other in like a big ass lump, and so it's just like, all right, just wash your car and it'll be fine, And then it wasn't, and so
Yeah.
But anyway.
I went through the car wash and the girl was trying to like peddle it to me about like, oh, for $10 more you could reactivate it, and I was like, this car's going to my sister, and I love my sister. I don't love her enough to pay $20 a month for her. And she was like, that's fair, actually. All right. Like, that's the first time I've actually been, like, peddled something that they were, like, immediately just like, that's fair point. All right, moving on.
Yeah. Most of the time, I had some really nice people today, just in general. Like, at every counter we went to, at the Olive Garden, the lady was really nice and, like, chatty and cool with us. Like, and at every fucking store we went to behind the counter, they were like, you got a phone number with us? And it's like, you could try this number. So my husband's one of those people that will just go like, okay, maybe my mom has an account with them, And so they'll just give their mom's number, and it's just like, you could try that number. And it's just like, dude, it doesn't matter. The savings could not matter. And it's just like, but they're always just like, we don't see anybody under that number. You want to set up an account with us? And the lady behind the counter is just like, you want to set up an account with us? And we're just like, no, we're good. We don't want to sit here for 5 fucking minutes. And they're like, yeah, no, that's fair. And then they send us on our way. Like, it's been like that all day for us, you know?
Yeah. For me, I will do my mom's number because my mom seems to like be everywhere and nowhere sort of thing of like fucking like at Firehouse today. They were like, you got a number? And I said yes instinctively. And I was like, Firehouse, we go here like once a year. Why the fuck would we have a number?
I have the Firehouse Subs app on my phone, and there actually are pretty good rewards if you like. They have like the digital equivalent points, like values wise, of like those punch cards of like if you order like 10 subs, you get the 11th free. You know, basically like that kind of thing when it comes to their points.
Yeah.
Their point system isn't like the McDonald's or like the Burger King point systems where it's just like, oh yeah, you can have a Whopper or you can have a chicken sandwich. Those are the 2 menu items, or a large drink. Those are the 3 menu items you can get. Fuck you. But you go on the Firehouse Subs thing, and it's just like, these points might as well be Monopoly money to us. All right, buddy, you could order anything on the menu you want. Here they all are translated into point values. Just redeem them here in the rewards menu, and they'll get added to your cart. You know? And that's nice, because it's just like, but what if I, like, that allows me to just get a special order sub for free if I wanted, or not for free, well, for free, because the points are extra. I call it for free, even though, like, I had to order 10 subs to get it, because it's just like, I was gonna get the 11th one eventually anyway, and I would have bought all 10 of those, points or no points, you know? And so, like, it's just a little bonus, and I like it, and it allows me to get, like, stuff that isn't traditionally in those menus. It just gives me more freedom of choice.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that very much. Their app is actually a very, like, solid, cohesive user experience. But no, yeah. Do you follow that guy on TikTok who does, like, the fast food thing where he's just like, here's all the shit that, like, every fast food place is doing, or here's a bunch of new shit that's hitting grocery stores this week. You know,
I don't follow, like, fast food news. A fat guy following fast food news is very different.
Well, I don't buy any of the stuff. I just find it interesting of just like, oh, McDonald's is bringing back the Shamrock Shake out of season for a week for some fucking reason. It's like, that's neat, kind of. And because, like, usually my locations and, like, my grocery stores don't typically have, like, Lay's is introducing a new butthole barbecue flavor that'll make you shit your pants 9 times out of 10. And it's just like, that's cool. That's a specialty flavor. We're not getting those. That like, at our grocery stores, we will not have them. You know, they're not, even if they're considered nationwide, we live in a small enough serving area that, like, we don't usually get stuff like that. But I don't follow that guy. I do now. I didn't follow him before, like, yesterday, though, until I got one of his videos again for the first time. I was like, where did you go? Welcome back. Because he's just like, he's one of those creators that I don't follow, or I didn't follow, but just would show up regularly enough on my For You page that it was like, he's a mainstay of my For You page. And then as my For You page shifted over time, he sort of just fell out of the rotation. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But now he's back because I follow him. And I don't know, it's not even just because food, man. Oh, it's like food, man. But no, it's it's just interesting to see what these fast food companies are trying and what Eggo is trying for their new waffle brands, you know? Like, I don't know, I like that kind of marketing stuff. I enjoy when new flavors for things are introduced. I very rarely deviate from the main flavors for reasons of stock issues and because I get so wrapped in my routine that I almost block out everything around me that isn't related to it. And so if they just added, like, double blueberry Eggo waffles next to the regular waffles where I would be grabbing regular waffles, I just won't see them. I won't notice them most of the time.
Yeah.
And so by the time I know that happened, it's gone, you know?
No, where my son, my boy?
My Eggo waffles!
My Eggo waffles! I was too late! I should come back for you, I
should have saved you! They might still stalk you if somebody bought you, you know? But no, yeah, as though my purchase of these Eggo waffles makes the difference.
Oh yeah, it would have. It would have made the difference, man. Those double berry Eggo waffles, dude. They were like, we do not sell them because Voxel64 did not enjoy them.
We watched surveillance footage in this specific Kroger location for one day, and nobody bought any. If one person even bothered to pick one up, we would have kept selling them. Unfortunate. Yeah. You know?
Unfortunate. There was a guy who walked there and came very close. We thought he was going to buy it. He opened up the thing and then just grabbed regular blueberry waffles and walked away. And, you know.
I'm a chocolate chip waffle guy, traditionally. I don't know.
Gross! Die!
What do you mean gross? You're putting syrup on it anyway.
That's a child. You're a child. Have berries with your meal.
I do like a good berry. And I'll eat blueberry waffles when presented to me. I just, like, usually if I want a topping, the artificial blueberries they put in them. Artificial blueberries are like a fucking crapshoot, dude, is my problem.
Blueberries, they're frozen
Are they real, actual frozen blueberries?
Yes, what the fuck do you think what the fuck is an artificial blueberry?
The flavoring, the artificial blueberry, because some things have, like, okay, so usually the stuff that has real fruit in it is marked with having real fruit in it, and maybe these are, but I never notice on the packaging, and so it's just like my brain immediately goes to, ew, artificial blueberry flavoring, no thanks, and then I fucking pass it up. If I like fresh blueberry, I like a good blueberry muffin, I like blueberry pancakes and waffles when they're, like, fresh made, but I don't know, man. I don't like artificial blueberry flavoring. It's just too syrupy and sweet, and it's a little like it tastes like fruit syrup, not like regular syrup, you know?
No. Health controversy by Glamour newsletter?
Wait, am I fucking not gonna get cancer because of those berries?
Those berries in your cereal, frozen waffles? Yeah, they may be fake. No, I was wrong.
Yeah, usually stuff with real fruit in it. Usually stuff with real fruit in it is like marked as like a selling point of like we put real fruit in our stuff, unlike our competitors. You know,
that's
is it a health risk? What do you mean health risk?
Let me read more about it. Health controversy is what it said.
Oh, okay. So people just probably didn't know. People like you were
just wait until you hear what they're made of.
Blueberries.
What
could they possibly be made
less
of?
Expensive?
Yeah, turns out false blueberry flavoring they put in your cereals and waffles made of lead. Who would have guessed?
It has blueberry bits. That's
so
mostly sugar
kind of
and soybean oil with little bits of real blueberry that's been artificially colored. So these lab-made berries are actually shaped into balls and dyed to look like the real deal.
See what I mean?
Soybean oil with blue dye is what we're eating. I can't believe it.
Yeah, you fucking soy boy. It's not real blueberries. I was willing to believe they were real blueberries, and I was just mistaken. Because I don't read the packaging that thoroughly.
Why the fuck wouldn't they be?
They wouldn't, because they're frozen, pre-packaged waffles that you can buy for $5.99 for fucking 30 of them.
Frozen waffles with real ones!
You can, but they say fucking real non-GMO blueberries inside. They say it in like the corner of the package.
You.
They have to. They for some reason they use it as a selling point. Hey, life or death for Berry Boy, everybody. Answer that question in the comments. Life. And Jed, you want to play us out? This is about that time.
Yeah, I fucking
now
hate
that you've
Vox,
learned that you're gonna get fucking
goodbye.
You're gonna get stomach cancer from your blueberries.
No, you won't. It's soybean oil. It's not gonna kill you.
You're gonna get fucking lead poisoning.
You know what will kill you? Not following us, because you should. Let me.
Yeah, you heard that thing I said earlier in the podcast that I dare not repeat.
That applies to you.
That applies to you. Everyone who's watching this. Please, if you're the president of the United States, don't watch this.
You can watch the podcast every Sunday at 3 p.m. on YouTube or Spotify. You can find us both doing other things and not threatening to bomb people or like saying the most like, fucked up things. Not usually on our social.
We are saying fucked up things on our social.
We are saying fucked up things social. Yeah. Not like that. That implies that we're saying like racist stuff.
Well, no, but
we're saying fucked up things like.
Didn't we compare like something? We did some reference the other day that I was like, okay, maybe we should back it out a little bit. Oh, we made like a domestic violence joke, which we also did in this podcast. Oh, yeah. A separate, different domestic. That one was a lot more hardcore though. That one wasn't like funny Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Which made it a little too real. Anyway, you want to continue with the outro?
Yeah. That's all. Find us in our socials. We're live.
We're on Spotify.
We're on Spotify. We're on
We're on
YouTube.
Twitch. We're on YouTube.
No, we aren't. No, we are
the
not
show
on
isn't
Twitch.
on Twitch, but we individually are.
We individually are on Twitch. The
Our
show,
card links are in the description. The show stuff is also there.
Yes. And I can't fucking believe that the blueberries aren't real.
The blueberries aren't real, folks. I need you to all I'm probably gonna fade this out as I'm saying it, but go and tell your family. Go and tell your family.
All
Scream at
15
them full
viewers,
volumes.
fucking scream at Ego.
Scream
Yell
at
at them.
scream at
Make
everyone
sure
you know.
they
Don't give
change it.
context. Tell them the blueberries aren't real. They're
The
not
blueberries
real.
have never been real.
They've been fake the whole time. They duped us.